Welcome to Season 2, Episode 13 of the Tree of Geek. In this episode, we've got dancing clowns, flying people in tights, terrifying swamp creatures, and John Cena being John Cena. I'm here with my co-host, Michael the H-Train. How are you doing tonight?
Man, I am happy to be rolling into the station this evening, man. I am happy to roll on in.
Absolutely, you gotta roll in so we can talk about James Gunn and his attempt to bring the DC Cinematic Universe back to life.
What about the other guy, the San Fran guy?
Yeah, that guy too.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's his name, San Fran. I don't know. Peter.
He should marry somebody with the last name Cisco, so it could be San Francisco.
You hear that? That's called crickets.
Formerly known as the DCEU, or DC Extended Universe.
What's it extended from?
I don't know, but it was the DCEU, the new DCU, following the MCU, I assume, Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is the DC Cinematic Universe.
So the DCCU?
So we are going to follow
We're off to a great start.
James Gunn's attempt to do what Kevin Feige did for Marvel, but for DC. But first, Michael, what is new in your world?
Well, it's not just my world we need to talk about here. That's the beautiful big marble rolling around in the universe. It's everybody's world. And if you're worried about that, or, you know, if your clock's working, then I guess that segue gets me to Time Bandits. So apparently there was a movie or a book way back in the day that I never watched, but apparently it was popular enough that Taika Waititi decided I'm going to get my hands on that. I guess him and the creator had some scuffles at some point. Like, I think the creator walked away or something. But there's a new show coming out on January 24th on Apple TV, which I got to subscribe to that, man, because they got some banger things. And
Severance.
I never do. Severance, I know. I have it. I just, you know, maybe I'll watch it this weekend when I'm at the Poconos. When I'm in the hotel room.
I'm telling you, it's outstanding. It really is.
I'll make everybody watch it. The series is described as a comedic journey through time and space with a ragtag group of thieves and their new recruit, an 11-year-old history nerd. And if you like Friends, Lisa Kudrow is a pirate lady in there. I saw that in an image. They've released some images. I don't think there's a trailer, just some images. Jermaine Clement, Ian Morris. I guess there was a movie directed by Terry Gilliam back in the day. Maybe that's the guy who walked away. I'm not sure. Taylor Swift. Not only taking over the universe, she's about to take over the MCU, possibly. Some more heavy rumors about her showing up. Apparently, she had some big talks with the Marvel bigwigs, and apparently they went good. They're talking about maybe Dazzler, that's what everybody said, or Mockingbird. Now, I mean, Mockingbird we've already seen twice. Linda Cardellini, Adrian Pilecki. But I mean, Dazzler has that photokinesis, which is turning sound into light. So, I mean, that rumor's been around forever. Maybe it's going to happen. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But at some point soon, I'm curious if we're going to get the X-Men or we're going to get Taylor Swift first. I'm not sure.
Well, now, I did see rumors online that people are saying Taylor Swift is going to make her debut as Lady Deadpool.
I have heard that one as well.
Apparently, one year for Halloween, she dressed in a super authentic Deadpool costume, and everybody's saying, oh, it was a hint, but...
Or she's just so rich that she can afford those super crazy expensive outfits that I want to buy every Halloween, but
yeah.
I also need a bank account to pay rent. Or a mortgage. I'm not... Man, I don't know. Whatever. Moving on to Jason Mother in Voorhees. So I was a little excited back in the day. Fuller, who had done some Star Trek stuff, did Hannibal. Like, he got his hands up in there and he's like, we're going to help do a prequel TV show that still has Jason. They had like the rights to the mask, but not other things. Well, he's walked away over creative differences. So that kind of sucks, but the series is not dead. It is still going to happen, but I think it just got pushed back a little bit now. And speaking of Star Trek, oh man. So I don't know if you guys remember this X-Men movie back in the day. The last one they did where it was the Phoenix, and it had the chick from Game of Thrones in it who was married to that Jonas brother. Well, the guy that wrote that movie, I'm pretty sure, was Simon Kinberg, and I think he wrote a bunch of other trashy shows and movies. Well, apparently he's like, I'm going to do Star Trek now. I'm going to do a prequel Star Trek. Oh my lord, man. No, please let this guy not touch my Star Trek. I do not need him anywhere near. I've already seen the cosmic bullshit that he did with that Phoenix movie. The Dark Phoenix, was that what it's called?
Just Phoenix.
Just Phoenix with Chastain, and if that's her name, Jessica Chastain. I think she played like the evil alien lady. Spoilers. If you guys ever decide to get that out of the dollar bin and watch it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If we ever rank the X-Men movies, man.
Well, the best part about that whole movie, spoilers, is when Magneto like crushes or fights on the train. We'll put it that way. That's like the only good part of that whole movie.
If you look at Michael Fassbender, dude, like he's gold. So of course he was probably like the highlight of that movie. Definitely. What about you? What do you got going on? I heard you made some purchases.
Maybe.
Or a purchase.
Maybe. So I finally got my hands on a Wolverine number 8. It is the iconic cover of Wolverine and the Hulk in the white tuxedos. It's back when the Hulk was still gray, not green. I think we talked before about why he's green now.
Some printing errors.
Some ink issues. Apparently, every time they tried to get gray, it always came out greenish. So they just went with green.
Yeah, we had a whole She-Hulk discussion about this.
But yeah, I finally got my hands on it. I finally bought it. It is a jewel of my collection. I've been looking for that one for quite a while. Sure, it's on eBay, but there's certain ones where it's just finding it in, the bins that you're searching through. It just feels so good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then, what was it? Wolverine number, I think it's 88 of Deadpool holding Wolverine over his head, pierced on the swords.
First comic I bought with my own money.
Oh, that was there too. I might go back and see if it's still there.
I think my cover has electrical tape holding it on, maybe. Like I bought it like the week it came out when I was a little kid.
Well, funny story, you mentioned, being held together with electrical tape. My father was going through some old files and stuff and whatnot the other day, and he came across...
Your adoption records.
No. The Amazing Spider-Man, but it was the very first time Morbius was ever seen. I'm gonna
not remove.
I will put the image up on the screen for YouTube.
Masking tape, bro. I like how masking tape just over time just turns more yellow. From beige to more yellow.
It says do not remove because apparently this was the reading copy in a comic book store when he was growing up. And when they closed, he bought it for, nothing. And I think it's hilarious. I'm like, it sounds funny, but there's so many stories to that comic book. You know what I mean? Like
that's awesome.
So I told him, I'm like, honestly, you should get something like that framed. Like that is a conversation starter. 100%.
Absolutely.
So I posted it on Reddit. Just, kind of as a joke, like, hey guys, look what I found. Everyone says, send it away for grading.
It has masking tape on it.
I'm pretty sure it's a joke because one guy also commented saying that I'll get a letter back saying, sorry, sir, we don't go to that many decimal points.
0.0007.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool little find of his. So X-Men 97.
Shing.
Amazing. It got me to go back. I am rewatching the original X-Men cartoon. What was that, 92?
Yeah.
I think it was 92, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And I'm telling you what, man, it holds up.
If you want to know, you should probably listen to our episode on X-Men.
Yeah, I'll go back and listen to our
pseudo
episode.
Solid information.
Yeah. It holds up really well, though. Like, even now, how many years later, that original cartoon is still pretty solid.
It is. Love me some X-Men.
And on that note...
And X-Forces.
Apparently, they released an X-Men 97 comic book to go along with the show. They're on issue number 3, I think it is. And he was telling me that issue number 1 came out like, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, whatever. It's already selling for like $15, $20. A $4 book. That apparently it's significantly more popular than people thought it was going to be.
Blew the hinges off.
So I'm going to be looking for that one as well. And while we're on comic book news, Doom number 1. Doom, as in Dr. Doom.
Oh, was it not based on the video game?
No.
Or Dwayne The Rock Johnson that was in the video game?
No, it's not.
Movie?
So apparently they released this comic book. It's issue number 1. It just came out last month in April. Or if you're listening to this 2 months ago.
In time. I think every time we talk about how this episode's in the future, we should just contact Huey Lewis, please let us your music's amazing. Let us use Back in Time. Just a quick just a little snip of it, Yeah.
Well, apparently it was anticipated to be a very low seller because it's just a straight up Doom comic, like not Fantastic Four with the Doom.
Yeah, but like I used to buy the previous series of Doom. Like it was a really good show, It was a really good comic. I got the first couple issues of it.
I said the Doom, but
the Doom. Well, he is the Doom. It's like I am from the Ohio University. Is there another one? No, he's the Doom, dude. That's fine. Shout out Julian McMahon.
Apparently, they didn't think it was going to do great. They did a very simple run. Well, the story, I guess, is just phenomenal, and it's ripping off the shelves like crazy. You can't find it. It's already on eBay selling for anywhere from $20 to $40 a copy. And they're already doing pre-orders for the second printing,
Wow.
which normally takes 6 months to a year. This is like a month and a half later. They're trying to pump more out quick.
Oh, people are anticipating Doom showing up. I mean, with all the Fantastic Four news going on.
So I just, yeah, my entire geek world has been some comic books just because it gets me out of the real world a little bit.
Yeah.
Work has been nuts, so.
Well, I mean, we just got a Beetlejuice trailer I haven't watched, and Alien Romulus is right around the corner.
Yeah.
So there's those.
And Deadpool Wolverine is July. It's
right back to those comics again.
It is coming quick.
Yes, it's by the time we record the next couple episodes, it'll be here. And we'll be talking about it like it was a year ago.
Full disclaimer, this episode will contain spoilers for any and all DC properties that are currently released, as well as speculations of what is going to be released. So if you don't want spoiled, turn us off now. Or skip to like a minute from the end, because that's where we're going to stop talking about it.
And start talking about subscriptions and Patreons, and
yes,
you know, and I'm pretty sure we're going to say it 3 times in a row, just in case somebody gets too many minutes down there in the future. You're shaking your head like, no, man, I got this down to a science now, motherfucker. Stop talking shit.
Oh, jeez. Are you ready to dive into this?
Dive into the future. Yeah, let's dive into the future. So this is kind of how we're going to do this. We're going to go down in a pseudo kind of maybe chronological order of release dates. There's a lot of TBDs. There's stuff that doesn't have a cast. It doesn't have directors. There's not a script yet, but they are listed on the possible future railroad of DC's track to your eyeballs through the big screen. So,
and as always, mine are not in chronological order, so I'm going to let you take point.
Okay. Are you ready? Because I'm ready.
I'm ready.
So the first one we're going to talk about is Joker Folie à Deux, I think is how you say it, or Ducks. I don't know. October 4th, 2024. This is the sequel to the Joker that came out a while back ago.
2019?
2019, yes. 2019. So the name, you know, I was thinking to myself, what does this even mean? It means the folly of two, and is also known in medical terms as shared psychosis or shared delusional disorder, SSD.
See, when I ran it through a translator, I got madness for two.
Well, I mean, there you go.
Pretty close.
Yeah. So this is gonna have Joaquin Phoenix back. We're bringing in Lady Gaga as she's gonna play Harley Quinn. I guess they're gonna have a bunch of shared delusions in Arkham Asylum.
Yep.
And it's just going to be batshit crazy. We're going to get a bunch of singing and dancing. That's, I guess, how you talk about your dancing clowns. We were not talking about the video game of Killer Clowns from Outer Space that dropped a couple months back. Yeah, so how are we feeling about this one? I mean,
so
same director, I think, Todd Phillips. I think he's coming back for this one.
Yes, it is Todd Phillips coming back. And like you said, the title translates to Madness for Two, or however you want to translate it, which obviously it hints at the whole psychological issues of Joaquin Phoenix's Arthur Fleck,
yes,
as well as Harley Quinn. And everything I read said that this is going to involve shared psychosis issues, or like you said, like shared visions, shared
Can you see that little green dude? Yeah, I do. Oh,
like psychological breaks.
And they're going to sing about it.
And that's why it's going to be singing. It's all going to be in their head, supposedly, but we'll see. I
mean, we got Brendan Gleeson showing up, Catherine Keener, and Zazie Beetz is coming back. She was in the first one. I don't know if she's coming to visit the guy. Full disclosure here. Well, I guess it's not a disclosure like we're hiding something, but we're doing excitement levels from 1 to 10. 1 mean this is like, I don't even talk about it. Like, I don't care. And 10 being like, I'm literally going to find a time machine to go into the future and watch it.
1 is Madam Web, and 10 is
X-Men 97 season 2.
Anything else.
Yes.
So, I mean, all right, so I can't say I'm actually really excited about this one.
Well, what number did you give it?
I give it a 4 out of 10.
Ooh, I gave it a 5.
Okay.
I'm nicer in ratings than...
The first movie, it was good. It was. But I don't know. I didn't feel that connection with it. And even though I do enjoy a musical now and then, like I loved The Greatest Showman. I thought it was fantastic. Wolverine singing and dancing. I mean, Hugh Jackman. But this feels like a wait till it's on streaming movie for me.
I mean, I don't doubt the cast or their ability. I think everybody, and Brendan
no,
Gleeson is a beast in a lot of things I've seen him in. Like, he's a very, very good actor. Joaquin has shown that he is. Lady Gaga has shown she's a dual threat. Catherine Keener, I can't really remember who she is. But Zazie Beetz is all right for what I've seen her in. Did she play Domino? Yeah, so she's all right. So I don't like doubt that they can't like pull it off. It's just I don't want to sit through an almost 2-hour long movie of a musical. I'm not a musical guy. Like I'm not. I love classical music and I love metal music, but to watch, like, I don't even watch Metalocalypse, the cartoon, because it's just, I don't know, it's just music. I want music to be music. I don't enjoy them as in, like, I just want to watch a plot go from beginning to end and see the emotional peaks and valleys. And yes, you can get that through a vocal performance, but it just doesn't translate well into my eardrums. I don't know. And my eyes and ears don't want to do the thing at the same time. It's weird to say. I'm not saying every musical is garbage or anything, so don't be going, oh my God, the H train's off the rails. Well, I usually am, okay? I don't know if I was ever on the rails, but it doesn't excite me. You like The Showman? You mentioned The Showman with Hugh Jackman. I never watched it.
Yes. It's fantastic, honestly.
If it's like Tony Award stuff, I'm not into it.
I don't know. I don't know if it won anything or not.
I'm just saying that's the type of thing that the Tony Awards, like, I would go see Cats or something. I'm not going to watch the movie Cats. I'd go see Cats. Yeah. So there you have that. I mean, that's Joker.
Yep.
Yeah, so neither one of us are like super excited.
We're off to a great start.
Well, I mean, that's the first one coming out. We got to start here. It gets better on. There's better stuff coming down the pipe. I know there is.
All right, well, what's next? Are we in 2024 or are we going to jump into next year?
I got Creature Commandos 2024. Creature Commandos is an upcoming animated show about the team, the Creature Commandos. We're getting Amanda Waller. I think she might show up here somewhere. I mean, this cast is, Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., who's this Alan Tudyk is going to be in this. And as soon as I saw his name, I was like, all right. David Harbour from Stranger Things and Hellboy, he's going to show up. Sean Gunn is going to be in it. Stephen Agee. I can't picture his face, but I know. Oh, he's the other guy from Peacemaker. He was the tech guy. So he's going to be doing stuff in here. I mean, it's a very star-studded voice cast. It's going to be released on Max in late 24. And it's part of DCU's Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. I think this is the one that actually kicks it all off, along with the next thing we'll talk about. And the director is James Gunn, and I'm pretty sure that he wrote a bunch of these as well. And you have Balak Ives as the supervising director. But I don't know what a supervising director does over a regular director. Do they supervise the director?
I think they just stand over them saying, no, click that. No, do that. Oh. What about that?
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, Amanda Waller is going to be in this too. So there's connection to Peacemaker. You know, I can't really say spoilers because a good thing about a lot of these DC projects coming out is we have a basic idea of what the property was as far as comics go, but we don't really know what the plot is beat for beat on these shows. We have like whatever the sentence or two is that they've given to the trades about what it is. My excitement level, I'll tell you right now, is an 8 out of this. I love Frank Grillo is awesome. I mean, just this Alan Tudyk with Sean Gunn doing some things. It's pretty good. I think Sean Gunn is going to be the squirrel guy in this somewhere. The dude from Suicide Squad. I think he's doing double duty here, if I can find it. He's going to be G.I. Robot and Weasel. So yeah, he's doing 2 different roles in here.
I mean, the cast is, like you said, it's absolutely star-studded. I think it's going to be fantastic. I mean, there's some major names in here that's going to carry weight. I think that alone is going to give people more incentive and more confidence in this going forward. But I don't know. Originally, I was going to give this like a 6 because animated, I mean, I wasn't really sure. But then looking back at like X-Men 97, like you said, I mean, you can do so much more with animation than you can with live action. And looking at the cast, I got to bump it up. So I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's going to be at least worth checking out.
I have never really been disappointed in DC animation. Almost every DC anime movie I've seen, even if the art style was a little bit different, has been good. Back when they were doing the previous movie series, I know it was like set in a 50s style of Justice League. It really should have been JSA, but it was a Justice League, but it was like in this weird art style.
Like a noir type stuff?
Yeah, and it was still pretty good. The Shazam versus Superman one was pretty decent. The The one where they brought in Joker killing Jason Todd, like that was like every one they've done, the Crisis on Infinite Earths deal or Infinite Crisis 2, like it was just all really good. So that's one reason, like DC's never failed me in animation yet.
Flashpoint, one of my favorites.
Yeah, even the Superman Doomsday was a good one. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this one at an 8 because and James Gunn's writing it, and I think it's gonna have that flavor. The flavor, all this is going to have James Gunn flavor all over it. I hope he just spreads his flavor everywhere.
Well, so what I was reading,
slithers all up in it.
What I was reading was saying that James Gunn wants to bring forward a lot of the much lesser known DC characters. A lot like Guardians of the Galaxy. Very, very few people had any idea who they were. In fact, they actually thought that movie might fail simply because nobody knew those characters.
Well, that's definitely going to come up again, for sure.
Instead, it blew up. I mean, it's probably one of the best trilogies of the MCU.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that.
Great.
Totally agree with that for sure.
So I'm really hoping that James Gunn puts his spin on this, puts the heart into it like he did those, and I'm really hoping that we're about to see a massive revival of the DC universe.
I hope so. I hope the hinges are
I grew up
just destroyed
on Batman, The Flash, and Green Lantern. And I moved more into Marvel because I don't know. I like the stories better. You know, it wasn't as dark. DC's always been darker. I feel like with James Gunn at the helm, I think he's going to bring that lightheartedness but serious feel back, into comic books. Make it fun again. I
was going to bring this up way later, but I'm going to say now.
I'll shut the fuck up.
We already have a James Gunn TV show out there with Peacemaker. We already got season 1 of that. A lot of this isn't like completely unknown.
It was outstanding.
We've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, yes, it was for another brand, but then we saw Peacemaker. The fact that we already have some proof, we're not just going on empty promises.
Yeah.
We've seen what he's done when he was already kind of restricted in certain ways. Well, and now he's in charge.
I feel like James Gunn is just really good at nailing the actor to the character. Not just, that's a good actor, let's get him, or that's a big name, but more along the lines of that actor's personality fits that comic book character. Like, he actually knows the source material he's looking at. Like, again, I said earlier, John Cena, he was the perfect choice for Peacemaker, I feel. Like, he was the perfect casting.
Yeah, and it was a good, well, let's not talk, we got Peacemaker coming up at some point.
Yeah.
We'll get to Peacemaker. Because right up now, I have Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 and 3. Did you watch Part 1? Yeah, I didn't watch it either. But Justice League Crisis on Infinite's Part 1 came out in 2024, so these are the sequels to that. And if you already know what that is, then I don't have to tell you. But if you don't know what it is, I'll tell you. So there's a comic book way back in the day. A bunch of universes are being collided, by the Anti-Monitor, and things are being destroyed, and universes are getting wiped out left and right. It was a good way to clean up the mess that all these different writers come in. They do Elseworlds Tales, and this is Universe 571, and this is Universe 999999999 or whatever. Like Swamp Thing does this in this one, but Superman's bad in that one, yada yada. So this was a way for them to kill off all those alternate realities and universes. So this is a 3-part series on their version of doing that in animation. I didn't watch this Part 1. And you said that you hadn't. I don't know if I'm going to watch Part 2 or 3. First off, what's your excitement level for this? I
mean, I would put my excitement level probably like a 6. And that's strictly because we saw them attempt to do Crisis on Infinite Earths with the CW Arrowverse, or whatever you want to call it. And I loved the concept. I just felt the execution was poorly done.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It was comedically done.
I'm sorry, but
oh my lord.
I mean, I'm still an advocate. Bring Grant Gustin back as the Flash, please. However, not with what's his name, Guggenheim or whatever it was as the writer. Like, I'm sorry, no, it was just awful.
Yeah, I had actually not been watching any Arrowverse for a long time, and I took the time just to see it because I was like, I got to check this out. And it's funny to watch. It really is. And then they also did a movie called Crisis on Two Earths back in 2010. James Woods plays Owlman. I do believe he's like the alternate version of like a Batman. Like, they had already kind of done this story before twice now. They've done it in the comics. They've done it in animation, and they did it in the Arrowverse. Like, I don't know why I need to watch another trilogy on it. My excitement level is at a 4. I probably will watch it at some point. I'm eventually going to get caught. I got to get caught back up with these things. But right now, I don't know. I'd rather watch like Invincible or something. Like, I'm just not.
Well, I think we should watch Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Because I just pulled it up here. It's an hour and 32 minutes, PG-13. Okay, that's expected. It has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That sounds like it's good.
That is absurdly rare. The voice actor for
Two people reviewed it.
The voice actor for Batman is Jensen Ackles.
I have heard
the Flash is Matt Bomer. Unfortunately, I don't.
Oh, he's from White Collar and American Horror Story.
Okay.
And some other things. He's the guy that looks like a skinny Henry Cavill.
Yes. Or actually, no, he kind of looks chubby in this picture. But
No.
And then you have like Stana Katic. She's Wonder Woman. She played Beckett on Castle. You have Jimmy Simpson as Green Arrow. He always plays that like squirrely dude.
Yeah. Well, like I said, in their animation,
Zachary Quinto.
He's in everything.
As Lex Luthor. I mean,
he's in everything.
He's
in Invincible. He's in Star Trek. He's everywhere. American Horror Story.
Even Alexandra, was it Daddario? She's in as Lois Lane's voice. I mean, there's some major.
Okay, all right, I'll watch it. He brought out the Daddario.
There's some major names in this. I mean, at 100%, like it can't suck.
Well, then I'm gonna have to. But I'm just saying right now my excitement level's low. Maybe after watch part 1, maybe part 2 and 3's excitement level will go up to a 9.
Oh shoot, I just hit play.
It's just one of those things that I've already seen the story over and over again. But if it's a great story, why not keep retelling it like Spider-Man's origin story?
I give this probably a 6 out of 10. I think that's what I said. I don't know. Maybe I didn't say it. Maybe it was in my head.
No, you did say that. I remember now. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
I'm absolutely gonna. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna see what it's all about. I mean, why not? Why not watch some cartoons? I'm watching X-Men right now. When I'm done with that, I'm probably gonna go watch the old Spider-Man movie or Spider-Man cartoon. Let's get some Batman animated series.
But why go back to watch something you've already watched instead of watching something new like this?
Because this isn't out yet. Well, part of it is, but the other parts aren't.
Well, my misinformation, some time traveler guy just tapped on my shoulder and said part 1 and part 2 were already out. So whatever.
What?
Hey, Huey, what's up? I'm just going to call my time traveling friend Huey.
The film was dedicated to comic artist George Perez.
Man, that dude could draw. So good, dude. His covers and his splash pages, his covers and his splash pages of, like, did you ever read Avengers versus JLA?
Yeah.
Like, he drew that. Like, that shit's crazy. All those characters. Wizard magazine used to talk about it like all the time and throw pictures up in their magazines all the time. Just so many characters. He did like a poster. It had like, I don't know, like 500-600 some odd like characters like jammed into one poster. It was insane.
I have the most respect for comic book artists. Like it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, because how do you? So you have costumes look different, but you still have to make like a jawline different, like the eyebrow, like the way the eye. Because otherwise, just every John, Joe, Jimmy, John Heimer looks all the same. You know what I mean? Like
same body structures, different hair, but no, like every single one of them has their own personality. It's just incredible. And then you get into like the nitty gritty detail of like the shading and the very slight variations. And I've always wanted to be an artist, and I can draw, but not remotely like that.
I'm the same way. Like my art did not match what my brain wanted it to do.
I can go past a steak figure, but that's it.
I could draw a muscular guy. He's just not gonna.
I just could never do the faces. Really? The nose. It was always the nose that screwed me up.
Interesting.
So I started drawing stuff that like didn't have a face.
There's a character in DC like that with a question. Doesn't he have like no face?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he has like a trench coat and a top hat. He's like from the 40s or some shit, but he has like no face.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
So coming up after Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1, 2, 3, whatever's not out yet. Actually, no, you have it right here in your notes. Part 1 was released on January 9th, Part 2 was released on April 23rd, and Part 3 is scheduled for July 16th.
So I'm off by a month. My bad.
So coming up next in the year, roughly, we're looking at Watchmen, the animated series announced at San Diego Comic-Con last year in 2023. We have no cast, we have no release dates, and we have no updates.
Yeah, we got nothing on this beat.
What is your excitement level?
2.
Really?
2. I can explain further. what is your excitement level? I'd like to go last.
I give it a solid 1 because honestly, I could care less about it.
Did you watch the movie?
Yes, and I loved the movie, but...
Did you watch the TV show?
No.
Either did I.
And I never read any of those comics.
It looked boring as hell.
So I'm sorry, but I have no interest in this. When it comes out, I'll probably watch it.
Did you say you did or did not read the comics?
I did not.
Oh, I did. I did read the run.
So as of right now, I'm sorry to Watchmen fans everywhere.
Wow. I mean, I have so much respect for the story of what it is. You know, the comics by Alan Moore were awesome, but
Alan Moore was awesome.
He's a weird dude. He's a strange individual. Yeah,
fantastic writer.
Yeah, he definitely was. I can't disagree with that. But I don't know if we've already had a movie that didn't really respond well with people. It did with me. I mean, hell, I like Ang Lee's Hulk, and I like the Watchmen movie, and I like Superman Returns with Brandon Routh. A lot of people are like, dude, what's wrong with your head? But, I mean, I don't need another Watchmen as an animated. But, hey, I tell you right now, if it's animated and DC has a good run, and I'm already wrong about the Crisis thing, because apparently that's 100% Rotten Tomatoes, this could, I mean... I'm pretty sure the HBO, if that's what it was on the Watchmen show, I think it had like grave review, like people were raving about it.
Oh, really?
And they were claiming for a season 2, but it was like a limited thing. They weren't doing a season 2
on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked at the cast and everybody was in it, and I was like, this just doesn't look interesting to me. It looked more talky than actual comic booky. I could be wrong. Well, I'm not wrong because that's how it did look to me. I could be wrong that that's what it actually was. I don't know. We're wasting way too much time on a 1 and a 2.
But to give a good idea of what Alan Moore is capable of, he is the original writer behind Batman: The Killing Joke, which is a dark, dark story, as well as V for Vendetta.
What a great cover for The Killing Joke.
The camera with Joker. Yeah, oh my word!
Great cover.
That's one of the, I don't want to say first like graphic novels that I read, but it's one of the early ones I picked up, and I'd heard about it. And I remember like, I'm gonna read this. I mean, it's Batman. Man, was it dark! Like
super dark. Great animation in it too. So next up we have The Penguin in 2024.
Starring Danny DeVito.
Yeah, he got some rejuvenation. He's really good now.
I would love to see him come back.
I wish they would have done a Danny DeVito Penguin along with Schwarzenegger doing Mr. Freeze and doing just a mockery of twins. Fucking amazing.
I guess there was an award show. I forget which one it was, but the two of them were doing the announcing and stuff, and they started making comments about Michael Keaton.
Yes. This is. Do you want to do? You have it.
I was just going to correct it. I was just going to correct it and say it's not Danny DeVito. I'm just punching a joke at. Was it 1989?
Yeah, you got to punch up, not punch down.
No, we're looking at Colin Farrell coming back in his fat suit, prosthetics, and I mean, I can't tell you how hot that must have been.
How long do you think it's going to be before people get canceled for saying fat suit?
Oh, it's probably
like
already
anything
done.
About anybody's weight. Like, oh, that's a fat suit. Oh my God, what did you say?
Yeah.
So why don't you give me, what information do you have on the Penguin? I'm sure you got something in your notes there.
So as I said, Colin Farrell, he's going to reprise his role from The Batman, along with Kristen Milotti. HBO Max ordered the series shortly after the film, back in, was it 2022?
I think it was 2022, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, apparently his character was very well received, and people want to see more of it. I personally am really surprised that they're doing a show 100% dedicated to a villain.
Well, I think one of the best things of the Gotham TV show is Penguin.
Yeah, but they gave him a whole different feel.
I mean, to be clear, and I'm probably getting this a little bit later, but I'm not a big fan of the latest Batman movie. I just, and because of how much I don't care for that film, I'm just not really looking forward to this spinoff. I love Colin Farrell. I think he's a great, great actor, but just not enough for me to really care about watching this. And I mean, I might someday, but like, I'm not going to rush to see it. I give it like a 4 out of 10.
See, I have opinions on the Batman movie, but we will talk about that later. Yeah, I agree with you on that. 4 out of 10. I'll watch it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. I don't know. I'm not that excited about this one either.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to be like a Kingpin, like from Marvel? Is that what this is going to be or what?
See, I don't know. I mean, if they're going to go that route, I would rather them follow the route of like Falcone or something like that, not Penguin. I mean, I understand Penguin was always a bigger villain, but not right away. I mean, it took him.
I never
a while.
really realized he was a mobster guy. Like, as soon as I saw Colin Farrell, like before the Batman came out, I was like, is he part of the Sopranos? Like, that's pretty. I feel like that's what they're doing here. But I never realized a lot of my Penguin relationship is from the Adam West Batman.
Top hat and the cigarette on the long stick.
And then of course Danny DeVito, and that was just one movie he was really mad on a Kmart
hands are like
thing. He's like, he's like on the thing at the end, and the little electronic deal, and then it stops working. And he starts like he's ripping back and forth, and he's like, flipping out. But I was like, none of that ever gave me mobster vibes.
No, not at all.
So you said 4, I said 4. I mean, it has potential to be good, but this is just another. I like superheroes to be superheroes, and I like even their villains to be superhero villains. If I want to watch like a dark, gritty crime show, then I'll go find a dark, gritty crime show. And yes, villains are crime. I don't want to be like stupid about this, but like I want some spectacle.
Yeah.
Some swinging from building to building, some cars being thrown, some laser beams out of somebody's eye. Like, I want fantastical. I don't want, this is how his criminal empire came to be. And it's just him, like, smashing somebody's head in a car door, like I've already seen, or something like I've seen on Sopranos or something. Like, I don't want that. I need comic book fantastic action. That's what I want.
I can get behind that 100%. Yeah. So let's move on to something that we can care a little bit more about. How do you feel about the next entry coming out July 11th, 2025?
You mean the legacy, maybe possibly titled Superman movie? And I only say that because of all my research, half the articles say it's Superman and the other half say it's Superman Legacy.
I found Superman Legacy, but
yeah. And Wikipedia just says Superman. And I got confused. I was like, wait, why is this Legacy on here? And then I went back and forth. So we're going to get another Superman movie. James Gunn is doing this one. We have David Cornsweet is picking up the cape. We have Rachel Brosnan is putting down her joke book from that Maisel show, and she's going to play Lois Lane. It's they just cast them on Pa Kent, which might not have their names. It may not be Martha and John Kent. It might be something else. James Gunn tweeted something about there were so many names from the comics, and so now we're like, we don't even know what they're going to be called.
Martha, why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?
It's just the first one that came to mind.
Leather jacket.
I
like that they're trying to completely redefine the Man of Steel. They're going to focus more on a younger Superman as he, really tries to figure out how to balance his Kryptonian heritage, his Superman persona, as well as his human upbringing. It gives me like Smallville vibes, but the later seasons when we really get to see him
The Blur
learn. Yeah. We get to see him learn what he's doing, how to do it, like build his moral foundation.
Moral compass, yeah. Which way is it going to point for him?
Yeah, I mean, I really like that aspect of it.
Why the hell did they give me so many seasons to like have him not suit up at the very end? Like,
you see him open his shirt and there's an
oh
S.
Man,
we never see him fly officially. We never see him in the full suit.
They're like, I read a quote somewhere saying, well, Smallville wasn't about Superman, it was about Clark Kent. Like, get off of it, you lazy son of a bitches. You could have gave everybody that dedicated their lives for all them seasons, all them nights.
One episode.
Just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You could have given me 30 seconds. That would have been good.
Show me him stopping a train and then cut it right there.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Yep.
Living in the past. We're in the future now. So there was a poster, or not a poster, rather, just a picture posted of Superman.
It's a promo shot.
Yeah, promo shot. Him putting on his boots, and a lot of people decided to make a crap ton of funny memes. I think even one of them had Al Bundy as a shoes salesman.
Wow.
Yeah, people were not happy about it. Like, oh, this suit looks dumb. He looks dumb. But listen, you're always going to get that initial wave of everybody going, oh, I hate this. This isn't what I want. And that's always been a Superman conundrum. Everybody complains he's stale and he needs to change. He needs an update. But as soon as you make him red or blue, lightning or whatever the hell they did back in the day, now it's wrong. Oh, why doesn't he have underwear on the outside? And why does his suit look like, oh, he's definitely not as big as Cavill? I don't know if you've seen pictures of Cornsweet lately in the gym. The dude is like, he's huge.
Yeah, he absolutely put on bulk for this part.
And it's great that he's big, but that doesn't make an actor, right? We've seen Shazam with The Rock in it. I mean, Rock, you've done some good roles, but that one, I don't know. But I watched.
Again, I blame the writing on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you only do what you got. Hollywood was a TV show on HBO. It was a limited series that had Cornyn Sweat's the first time I ever saw him. Great show. Dylan McDermott was in that one. He plays like this guy trying to become, he's a fledgling actor around the time of Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson's actually in, like his character's in there. Had the guy from The Big Bang Theory. Bazinga's in it.
The one that played Sheldon.
Yeah, Sheldon's in there.
Shoot, what was his name?
I don't know. But
okay, good enough. Continue.
But I also saw Cornyn Sweat in Pearl the other year, the Ty West horror movie, and he'd already put on a little muscle in that movie. And I was like, this dude's pretty cool, you know. And I do some stories here, nothing published anywhere, but I like write some comics for myself, you know, some stories. And I was like, my Superman-esque character, I was like, dude, he might work somewhere. And then boom, they cast this guy as Superman. He puts on a ton of weight. I'm just saying, I've seen him act in some other things, and he did really, really well.
See, I think he has a strong resemblance to Henry Cavill. Like, if they played it off that this was the younger version of that Superman or something, like, I could totally see it. Now, the stories wouldn't line up, obviously, but, like, I'm looking at the suit right now. I'll put this picture on the YouTube as long as, you know, we don't get copyrighted for it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
I see nothing wrong with the suit. The only thing I see that I feel people will complain about is the half turtleneck neckline. Like, it goes up his neck a little bit. And this symbol is more of the Kingdom Come styled S.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I mean,
but you know what? Other than that, I see absolutely nothing wrong with it.
I think he looks better than what Nicolas Cage looked like in Superman.
I think he has red underwear. If you zoom in on his crotch, yeah, I said that. I'll zoom in on the video. I think he might even have the red trousers.
He might.
And yeah, you're right. Holy crap, Nicolas Cage's Superman was awful. Like, it looked like something out of a 1980s, you know.
Well, I mean, it was going to be made way back when.
I don't care.
People are like, why did we ever get Nicolas Cage? I'm like, I can never picture Nicolas Cage as Superman.
So I like that they did in The Flash. I mean, since we're on it real quick, I like that they did the, you know, cameos all over the place, but they were all CGI.
Yeah.
If you could have got the real actor for even a 1 second clip like Nicolas Cage for that, it would have carried so much more weight instead of looking like this weird plasticky.
You know, it went by so briefly for me that's one of my least issues with them. Like, I didn't even give a shit about that.
Oh no, that's way down on my list. I have many issues with that movie.
I was like, no, that part's fine. Why? What that part's horrible. I'm like, well, it's better than the baby catching scene to me.
I love the oh wow. I love the Flash, but that movie. And I'm sorry if I offend people, Eric. I'm looking at you. That movie was awful. I was so disappointed with that movie.
Yeah, it wasn't like Super Babies too bad, but it was pretty horrible. But back,
I would watch Alien Resurrection.
Oh, Alien Resurrection is better than The Flash.
Alien 3
is better than The Flash.
The Predator.
Definitely better than The Flash. Like, I don't know, you're just throwing softballs at me here, man. If he's like Ballistics X versus Sever, I'd be like, okay, well, we'll have a conversation. And that movie's pretty. Sorry, Lucy Liu, what the Banderas? What are you guys doing?
What was it? Street Fighter back in the day.
Oh, Street Fighter's way better than The Flash. I don't care what anybody says.
Anyways, Superman Legacy. What's your excitement level?
8. I have an 8 on this.
8, really?
Yeah, it's high. I like Superman. You know, I tend to appreciate a lot of things other people don't. Like, I'd already said that I liked Ang Lee's Hulk, and I like Bryan Singer's Superman Returns, and I even like Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. So I have a love-hate relationship with Superman, and that I think it's a great character, but sometimes like his story gets retold too many times. If James Gunn does the smart thing that they did with the Spider-Man movies recently, and they just say skip the origin.
Jump into it in his early days.
Or even if he just briefly says to somebody, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, let's skip, because that's what they've done in almost every reboot of Superman now. You have to get that stuff. And that's fine and dandy, but we don't need it again this
It's
time.
like Spider-Man. Everyone knows the origin.
Yeah, like you could say, hey, Grandma, what's up with Superman? Like, she's going to tell you, oh, he's an alien that fights for Earth. Like, she's
crashed in a pod on the Kent farm.
I used to listen to the radio program. They won't say show, they'll call it a program. That's how you know when somebody's old. Oh, I listened to the radio program.
Wasn't there a comic series at one point where like Lex Luthor found him instead? Or the Luthor family found Superman as a baby instead?
I think.
And raised him to be like this enforcer?
More than likely.
I don't know. I want to say there was a series like that. Anyone out there knows what I'm talking about, let me know. Maybe I dreamt it.
Have you ever heard of JLA, The Nail?
No, I haven't.
It came way back when I think Grant Morrison was doing some JLA stuff where, so Martha.
Why did you say that name?
The Kents, they're driving and their tire runs over a nail. Poof, their tire's, and that's when they find Superman. So the story is the nail's not there and they never run it over. The tire never pops because that's how tires work. I'm a mechanic. So anyway, they don't pick up Superman. Like another family finds them. So like Wonder Woman and the Flash and Green Lantern and the JLA are like all weird and different because like there is no Superman, all because of that one fucking nail.
Well, wasn't that the premise of, what was it called? Brightburn or something like that? Yeah, Brightburn. Wasn't it like a loose idea of if...
Well, that was just if the Superman character was bad. Like
I thought it was like if
he was here to like conquer Earth and
okay, see, I thought it was if
stole
he
from Dragon Ball.
was found by another family and not raised the same way type of thing.
No, at least they were good people.
But was that actually
they were
a Superman thing? Or did they just make it but never really put the name on it?
No, it was. I don't think it was a Superman thing. It might have been inspired by Superman. He was
Okay.
never intended to be Superman. But they do, at the spoilers at the end, allude to a Justice League type bunch of characters on the planet, though. At the end credits and things. And it never got the sequel. That movie's pretty good. It's a good superhero horror, which you don't get very often. It's pretty good. The kid's whacked.
That's one I actually did enjoy.
Yeah. There's Superman Red Son, where he's raised by the Soviets. It was a good cartoon animated film I recommend that one. What about you? I gave it an 8. What's your excitement level here?
Well, I've got a 6 right now.
Oh, that's low.
To me, as of now, I feel this is a wait for streaming movie. I'm not excited enough for it to go to theaters, but again,
I might go to theaters for this. I might.
We don't know anything about the plot. We don't have any idea what it's going to really be about.
Well, we know everybody's in this. We got Supergirl's in this, Brainiac's in this. Like, everybody's in this piece.
One picture.
Yeah, right
to
now.
go on. And I was reading that
Hot Girl's in it, Mr. Terrific, Green Lantern.
Yes, I
Nathan
know.
Fillion.
Oh, that alone could be enough to get me into theaters. I do love Nathan Fillion.
I like that there's like already a shit ton of characters in here.
Well, yeah. I was reading, however, that they're not bringing what's her name back from the Flash movie to be Supergirl.
Sasha Calle.
Thank you. Yeah, I read that she wanted to, but James Gunn wanted to just cut ties with the DCEU and just completely go fresh.
Kind of have to.
He didn't want any connection back that people could try and make. He wants it to be totally new.
Yeah, Peacemaker's going to be the only pseudo thing, and we'll discuss that later.
And the Suicide Squad that Peacemaker came off of.
Yeah, and it's all wrapped up in one thing.
But that's a shame. I thought she pulled that off okay. I thought, again... I've said it before, the writing was rough in The Flash. I thought she could have done much, much more with that character. But for what we saw...
Other than just die over and over and over and over again?
Spoilers! But for what we saw, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked her as Supergirl. Yeah. And she's gone now.
Yeah, well, we're going to get this Supergirl, Millie Alcock's going to show up in here. We're going to get the engineer for the Authority movie. Like, she's showing up in here. Like, this is going to be, I think this is going to be a jam-packed, kind of like the recent Marvel movies that have, like, everybody in it. Where there's like a Civil War type thing. Not like the plot of Civil War, but we're just going to...
So now there's my problem. I feel like they're trying to cram everybody in and give everybody their spinoff right off the bat. I almost feel like they're taking an Rebirth path. They did the comic line. It was DC Rebirth.
Yeah, it was reborn like 12 times now.
Well, it's actually called Rebirth.
Oh,
they started with like an overall story, and then they all went into separate directions. Like each one got a Rebirth line of their own. Green Lantern, Batman, Flash, like you name it. But I don't like that they want to introduce everybody all at once. I feel like that's where Madam Web screwed up. Like they were trying to set up a franchise rather than focusing on the plot of this movie. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
I see where you're coming from that, but if I go back to all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and all the people that were in those movies, he finds ways to give everybody their time without overshadowing the... I think he can pull it off.
But the characters...
It's a tightrope, though.
All the characters from the Guardians of the Galaxy were meant to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy, or they were already established.
Well,
this is essentially
these are all Superman type characters.
This is like the cornerstone. This is it. This is the start of the DCU as far as like really getting into the live action. To put everybody in there that you know will get their own spinoff at some point,
well, I don't think everybody is getting... The only thing I was mentioning was the engineer for the Authority movie.
Yeah.
The Lanterns TV show.
Yeah.
And Supergirl, that's 3. Like nobody else. Like you don't have the Flash in here. You don't have
that.
Cyborg.
You don't know that.
I'm going off the information given to me. I don't know for
that.
sure, but I'm going to believe.
Was it Wiki?
Wiki and some other places. Yes.
Should have just asked ChatGPT, man.
I should have.
It probably gets it.
Would have told me how to say Skylar Gizondo properly as Jimmy Olsen.
You type in ChatGPT, give me information on Superman Legacy, and it just gives you a Wikipedia link.
It probably would. Well, if I find that it pulls from different sources, because then it also gives you at the very end, it gives you like 3 lines of where it pulled it from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 6 out of 10 for me. I'm skeptical,
and
but
Sean Gunn's in this one too.
I am willing to adjust that. Sean Gunn is going to be in almost everything.
Yes, he is.
He's pulling in Adam Sandler, and he's pulling, James Gunn's pulling his friends and family into it, and I'm okay with that.
I wish Adam Sandler would show up somewhere in here.
Who would he play?
Oh man, I don't know who. Adam Sandler in the DC. Everybody out there, for goodness sakes, get on X, because they do say things back to me. Get on X. I'll post something about if Adam Sandler was in a DC movie, who would he play? And I want some responses here.
Don't even know where to start.
Like, would it be a devious guy? Would it be a dark comedy thing? Have you ever seen Drunk Punch Love? It's like a really like black comedy with him, like really dark, and it's just like smashes the door with a hammer.
Well, at first I was thinking like, Sinestro or somebody be cool, but I just don't. I don't see him pulling that one.
Yeah,
I don't know. Man.
I don't know either. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. I don't know.
I want to know now.
Yes, who's Adam Sandler gonna play in the DC? You heard it here first.
All right, next up on the list, we have coming in 2025 to Netflix, season 2 of Sandman. Nobody liked that show.
Sorry,
I don't even know why they did a season 2.
There. Mr. Sandman.
I'm just kidding. So apparently it's insanely popular. I watched 1 episode and I just couldn't get into it. I will give it another go.
Episode 2 or 3.
Is that
towards the end of 2 and 3. Once you get Boyd Holbrook doing his thing. You told me
before, it's definitely like a slow burn to start.
It is a slow burn, yeah.
And I said at that comic shop, I was telling you off mic, they did tell me they have issue number 1 of the Sandman comic.
Right on.
I don't know how much they wanted for it, but probably not cheap.
Probably not. So I don't know who the director of this is. I just know that it's going to be not season 2. This is the next chapter. They've decided not to call it a season 1 or season 2. It's just like the next chapter in it. And the rest of the Endless are going to show up. We're going to get Esme Creed, Miles as Delirium, Adrian Lester as Destiny, and Barry Sloan as the Prodigal, aka Destruction. Do you know anything about the Endless whatsoever?
I don't. I know nothing about this.
So basically, the Endless are DC's version of the... I'm trying to think of the word to properly put it. Like Erebus is the primordial embodiment of darkness in Greek mythology, right?
Okay.
So these guys are like the embodiment of things. You have death, you have destiny. Sandman, he's like sleep. You got delirium and
so like how in Marvel, death was a physical being.
Yeah.
Well, in the comics, anyways.
Yeah, it's like these people control. Like even we'll get to it with Swamp Thing, but he's
so like in the Santa Claus. How there's the Sandman.
Yeah, they're like
Easter Bunny.
You could say they're like gods of things, but they are like the embodiment of like certain things. And of course, then you get like Lucifer Morningstar that's also in it, played by Gwendolyn Christie, who is a different kind of telling of Satan in a way, but like super powerful. In the comics, he can just like create realities and destroy realities. Lucifer in DC Comics is like powerful as shit. A lot of these characters are really, really powerful. So this is a story about Sandman and his adventures and all these people coming in, and it's really like I don't really want to give away anything. I don't want to spoil season 1 of this. And to even kind of say where season 2 might go, it would be kind of hard. I would definitely go and Google some things, like, or go to Yahoo, and they can give you a whole rundown, but I don't want to spoil a lot of things. I don't want to do that for this, but I'm pretty excited. I know that some people, like you haven't really got into it. Like I said, it is a slow burn, but to me, like Neil Gaiman, I think he's like one of the greatest storytellers of our generation. Like he's like our Mark Twain, our Tolkien. Like this guy has done like. Have you ever watched the show Good Omens?
No, but I have heard of it.
Like that's an amazing.
Alan Tudyk or no?
No, it's Michael Sheen and David Tennant.
Okay, yeah.
One plays an angel, one plays a devil.
Okay,
a demon, and they're friends but not supposed to be friends, and it's fucking balls crazy.
That's actually based off a book of his from the 90s.
Yeah, it talks about the sword of God and all these kind of crazy things. It's just Neil Gaiman finds a way to take just normal mythological things. And like, I'm pretty sure he did like some Constantine stuff too, like back in the day. Like this show has the, I think, grandmother of John Constantine in it, played by what's her face from Doctor Who. She played, oh man, my brain is so blank right now.
Rose.
No, like 3 past that.
3 past that? Karen Gillan?
No, before Karen Gillan. Brunette. Oh man, she was...
Jenna Coleman?
Yes, Jenna Coleman's in this. So yeah, I mean, this has Jenna Coleman. She plays, I think, like maybe the grandmother of John Constantine. Like she shows up for a minute. It's...
I just want you to know Jenna Coleman was after Karen Gillan.
Was she after?
But, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have every single one of my Doctor Who. Did you? I've watched more Doctor Who than you. Are you all caught up?
No, I'm not.
No, yeah.
But I've watched Christopher Eccleston up through the end of Matt Tennant, and most of Peter Capaldi many, many times. I watched a couple of Jodie Whittaker's, and I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. She didn't feel like the Doctor to me. She felt like she was trying too hard. I don't know. I mean, I will watch it because I have to.
If you're a fan, you got to watch it.
I know, but...
At this point right now, we are 3 episodes behind on the brand new season.
Yes, I did see
I'm
that.
waiting for a bunch of them to come out before I just kind of like slam.
I've heard good things.
Before I bulldoze through some of them.
I've heard good things about the new guy. Oh, he's considered the 15th Doctor.
Yeah, because Tennant came back for a minute.
Tennant was technically the 14th very briefly, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, what was his name? John Hurt was the War Doctor, so that technically was a variation. But yeah, so the actor right now for the 15th is Ncuti Gatwa, I think.
Yeah, see, I wasn't going to remember that in my head, right?
Ncuti Gatwa.
This is when you get on like pronunciation.com or get Google to pronounce it.
It says he's a Rwandan Scottish actor. So that right there was no way I was going to get that name.
Rwandan Scottish. Now... Yeah. I think that one would win in a drinking party of like, look, tell me your nationality, man. Like, where are you from, bro? And then be like, oh, okay, you fucking win, dude. Here, I bought you a drink. So what is your excitement level for this then if you have only seen one episode that you didn't really care much for, the season 1?
TBD. To be determined.
To be determined.
As of right now, I mean, I would give it like a neutral 2, just because I know a lot of people think it's fantastic, and I know I need to give it a fair shot.
Boyd Holbrook, I'm telling you, you're a fan of him, and when he starts hitting in that first season, you're gonna be like, okay, I get it now.
So I'm gonna give it another go when I finish X-Men, because I started it. I have to finish it now, not 97, the originals. So
okay.
I give it a 2 out of 10.
Just give it a 9.
A 9.
This might be the thing I'm most excited about for DC.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there wasn't, or if it was just like, hey, Sandman season 1, I'd be like, oh, I don't know, like a 6 or something, you know, like I like Neil Gaiman and the comics are cool, but to translate that onto the screen, like how could you do that? But now that I've seen that they can do it and it's amazing, and the special effects are awesome in that fucking first season, like, yeah, I'm in a 9 because I know what they can do.
It's a very dark show, right?
Yeah, it is dark.
Like
I mean, there's some lightheartedness.
Dark, like the show Supernatural, or
yeah.
Like lightheartedness, but still dark.
Yeah, I could go with that. Now, The Dead Boy Detectives is out on Netflix, and I know it's connected to it. And I did watch part of the first episode, and I was like, this might be a bedtime show for me, and it definitely put me to sleep. I was kind of tired for that. So next up, flying into the big screen at some point, we have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Not Sasha Calley.
No. This Millie Alcock-led DC TV. I don't think it's going to TV movie. This movie's going to be flying into theaters on June 26, 2026, supposedly, making it the second movie in the revamped DCU under James Gunn and Peter Safran. Not San Fran, it's Safran. My bad. This must have been the first time I typed his name in here. So this movie's going to be directed by Craig Gillespie, and I guess some people are upset that it's not a woman. But he did do Cruella, and I thought that was half decent. And yes, it did have singing in it, so don't come flying at me in the comments. Vampire Diaries' Anna Nogueira is writing the script. I think she has something to do with the Superman thing or one of the other things here as well. So it's not clear closely how this is going to go to the source material, how close it will be. Like, is it going to be the same as the comics? Is it going to be a mixture? But I guess it's going to be a story that's going to follow Supergirl as she travels the galaxy with her dog Crypto to escape Superman's shadow, and on her journey, she's going to encounter an alien woman who is on a mission of revenge. Sounds like a Green Lantern movie.
Yeah.
If somebody wrote one. or somebody was going into space and met a woman who was on revenge to take out their father known as Sinestro. But maybe I'm just overthinking this.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Do not listen to those early episodes. I mean, you can, folks, if you want to.
Just
give
go
us some
give
more
them a
likes,
thumbs up, but
yeah,
don't listen.
It's the audio.
It is. The audio quality was awful.
We were raw, so raw back then.
Yo,
I'm healed up more now. A lot of chafing.
We took the leap and got a much nicer board, and I think it paid off significantly.
Absolutely. So how you feeling about this? What's your excitement level at for Woman of Tomorrow? Not yesterday, of tomorrow.
Well, I guess it's going to be based on the comic series by Tom King. It's not a fully original take. It's going to be loosely based on the series. So that gives me a little bit of extra hope because normally those older comic series were pretty solid. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
You picking up on putting down?
I pick things up and I put them down.
Good. From what I read, it's going to be showcasing more of a hardened version of Supergirl, not the like lighthearted, you know.
Yeah, I did read somewhere that they want to make this more serious and a darker tone. Like, she's like, oh, hey, I'm Supergirl. I'm just going to do things. Not that I've seen any Supergirl do that, but this isn't a Barbie movie.
Look,
this is
again,
a Supergirl
look at CW. Supergirl. She did great, but she
Vanderhort.
Melissa Benoist.
Benoist.
Yeah, it's pronounced like Benoit or something like that, but not, I don't know. She was great, but she was very giddy all the time. Like,
well, she was definitely an extension of our Glee character.
oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, they want to try and get a little bit darker with this one, get it a little bit more serious. I think they want it to be taken more seriously because most of the time, Supergirl is always seen as like Robin, that secondary character, not the main focal point. And I think that's what they're trying to do here is completely...
Second banana.
Yeah, like they're trying to totally put her in the spotlight and see what happens.
Millie, to me, was fantastic in House of Dragon, and so I have like no doubt that she has like the acting chops to pull it off. And I was pleasantly excited to get another big screen take on Supergirl. I mean, it's sad that Sasha Calle's not going to be around. She's a thing yesterday and not tomorrow. The movie looks to show us a cosmic side of the universe for DC, and we know what James Gunn can do with the cosmic side of things. I watched the original Supergirl movie back when I was a very young kid. This was like
Helen Slater.
Yeah, and honestly, as a little kid, I thought it was a cool movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it really replays well now. If it holds up.
I'll save you time. It does not.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching Red Sonja now. Like it just like what? I see what they were trying to do, but DC was a different. Comic book movies were a whole different thing back then.
Oh Maya.
And Laura, in the Smallville, she was okay, and then you have Benoist. But like this is time for say no, this is a solid character who has her own just because she's Kryptonian, she's not just like another Superman. Like she has her own story. That's not what his is. It's completely different. I mean, if you look at like the city trapped in the bottle and all those different stories, they can do a lot of cool and unique things here. I'm gonna say my excitement level's at an 8.
And they usually say that she was off on her own doing things while looking for Kal-El, for Clark.
She's technically somehow like really kind of in a lot of ways older. I guess it's like the curvature of time when it comes to the relativity of reality or something of how far away she was from Earth. I don't know. It's a whole thing. Ask that Neil deGrasse Tyson how time works, time dilation when you're farther away from
He'll say,
Earth,
well, it's a comic book.
Speed of plot.
So I guess my big question is, what is the main theme going to be? I mean,
her kicking ass.
A lot of people said it's going to be like exploring her identity, like who am I type of thing. Like,
am I just Superman's cousin or am I own person?
Right. What's it going to be? How is it going to play out? Is it just going to be, I'm going to do my own thing? Or is it actually going to be like, I don't know who I am if I'm not in his shadow?
I think it's going to be like Captain Marvel trying to find out who she is, only done better. I think that movie, you could really look at that movie and go, what didn't work about it? And what did. Now, I'm not bashing. I did enjoy the Marvels to an extent. I did like Captain Marvel, but there's a lot to take away from the movies and go, man, if we just would have switched these 5 things, these 3 things, whatever it is, we could have really had a banger of a movie. And listen, the competition is always watching.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, too, with James Gunn. He was the competition at one point.
Yeah, we've seen his cosmic stuff. We've seen it. So, yeah.
So you give it an 8 out of 10.
I do.
I'm sorry. I give it a 2.
A 2?
Wow. It's a wait for streaming at best.
What is in your glass there? Is that rum or is that haterade?
No, it's not hate though. I just have nothing at all invested in this character.
By the way.
I do too. But I have nothing invested in this character.
What about the Pittsburgh Penguins?
I absolutely hate. No, don't even. You're horrible. I am a Flyers fan through and through, and that will probably alienate half or 3/4 of our audience. Because,
Let's go Red Wings.
Anyways, who is your favorite portrayal of Supergirl so far? We'll narrow it down. Helen Slater from 1984.
I know who they all are. But no, you go ahead. Okay.
For people who don't.
For people that don't.
Laura Vandervoort. She's from Smallville.
Not her.
Melissa Benoist. I don't know how to say her name.
Benoist.
From Supergirl, or Sasha Calle from The Flash.
I wish I would have seen more of Sasha Calle. I wish we would have give her a half hour more of footage somewhere. I wish Helen Slater's movie would have been made in a different time. She's a good actor. She's been in some other things. I can't name off the top of my head. I've seen her in other shows that I'm like, she's always been a good actress. Had that movie been produced, created, directed, righted in a whole different era, I would see either say Benoist or Helen Slater. Yeah. Helen Slater, I think, did well. It's just she had what she had in front of her to deal with. So
wasn't Helen Slater the one from City Slickers?
Yeah, played the one wife, I do believe. Yeah.
Okay.
City Slickers. Oh man, that was a great movie.
That was a good movie.
All right, we're doing an episode on City Slickers. We're done with DC. We're talking about City Slickers from here on out. He ate eggs and bacon for the last. You can't do that.
We should just do a show on 90s classics. City Slickers, Roadhouse.
How about just 1994?
Actually,
Jim Carrey did The Mask. He did Ace Ventura, and he did Dumb and Dumber, all in 1994. Like, come on.
Man,
like,
he was a little bit busy, huh?
Killing it in 94.
When did the original Roadhouse come out? 1989. My favorite, I've got to give it to probably Melissa Benoist.
Or Melissa.
I know I just bashed her. You know, she was all giddy and whatnot, but I don't really remember Helen Slater as much. Laura was a joke at best.
I think other than just being hot.
Yeah, was she beautiful? Sure. Yeah. But she was not Supergirl.
No, she just walked around and, well, I mean, that show just like took a lot of characters and was just, she just had like a t-shirt on. So, I mean, I know that you have really, really low excitement level for that. So let's talk about something that you probably have maybe slightly higher excitement levels for. October 2nd, 2026, it got pushed back a full year. It was supposed to come out in 2025. The Batman Part 2. Leather Jacket's Revenge.
Sequel to the 2022 The Batman. Also directed by Matt Reeves. We have Robert Pattinson returning as Bruce Wayne / Batman, continuing his dark and gritty portrayal of Gotham's vigilante detective. Okay, so I have a lot of mixed feelings on The Batman. I love that they brought more of the detective side of Batman into it, less of the he got beat down, but he's going to rise up and win in the end, like every one of his movies ever. You look like you're getting a migraine. But I did enjoy that they really pushed the detective side of things, because that's what
did he do that was detective in that damn movie? What did he detect?
He found walked around a thumb.
He walked into crime
thumb
scenes
drive.
that police were already at.
It was a thumb drive.
Oh, wow.
Don't you get it?
No, I don't. What? I don't understand. He was a crybaby sitting around. He had like pictures around him like he was Heath Ledger's Joker. I did see this this post. Somebody was like, "This is my list of the top 4 live action Jokers of all time, or like ever." And then Jared Leto was like, "Well, I guess fuck me." And then somebody replied to Jared Leto, "Yes, fuck you."
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, I do
feel bad for him as Joker, because I feel like, I mean, they cut a lot of his parts out of that movie.
Yeah.
But I still don't know if it would have saved him. I don't know if it would have saved him or not. But we didn't really get to see him really be the Joker. It was just a few here and there's of him being a douchebag.
Yeah, he was kind of, I felt like the character was shoehorned into that movie. You could have easily put another character in there in his place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the portrayal was bad. Jared Leto was off, and I say it a lot, but he was off the rails on that one. And I think he kind of needed to be. He's a method type, I need to be that character actor. If they just would have given him another half hour of footage of just like, but like Joker's meant for like a Batman movie or just a Joker movie.
He's not meant to be a flashbacks character.
I really hope, and it just came to me now, that when we see this folie à deux, I'm just going to call it that from now on, folie à deux, if that's how you really say it in the French language. I hope that when they're doing their delusions, that for some reason, for real quick, like Lady Gaga looks over at Joker and for a second it's Jared Leto.
Oh my god.
And not Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, but with Jared Leto's makeup.
Oh, that'd be... I know a lot of people are like, why is Tekashi 6ix9ine in this Batman movie? Like, what the hell's going on in the Suicide Squad movie? Like, why is this happening? But, you know, we're not here to talk about so much the joke. We're talking about Batman Part 2.
Yes.
We don't know a ton of what it's going to be about.
No, there are very, very few plot details out. We don't even know who the main villain's going to be yet.
Yeah, we're starting to get into this part where we're not going to get a lot of information on some of these, maybe the next one or two, but...
Yeah, but I did read there's quite a few rumors right now going around that it's going to dive deeper into the rogues gallery. Like, they're going to really try and look at the corruption within Gotham and get more into all the...
All right, well, Law and Order, okay.
Well, kind of like how Gotham, the TV show, did it. Like how they brought in a bunch of the different character origins. I don't want to see their origins, but I would like to see how they're functioning all in different areas at the same time without really running each other over.
Do you think we're going to see the Saltburn guy as Joker more in this one? Because you just like see him in his cell, like his face all like really butchered.
I think they're going to recast it.
Really? You don't think?
I do.
I think Saltburn's going to show back up.
I don't.
You know, it's funny. Was it like Barry Cohegan or something? I think is his name, somewhere close to that. But like every time like people talk about him, they don't ever say his name. Just say Saltburn. I was watching SNL last night. Sabrina Carpenter was the musical guest. I don't know much about her. I was like, oh, I've never actually like heard a full song. She goes, well, she's with the Saltburn guy. Like she doesn't say the actor's name. Like nobody ever does. She's just like, oh, they're connected to the Saltburn person.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know. I don't think they're going to recast him. I don't think so. But I don't really think it's time. Like, I don't think they should go with the formula go. Like in the other Batman movies, they teased him in part 1, they showed him in part 2, and then like, I think Batman, this is another like, let's hold off. We've seen it. We've heard it. We've lived it. Like, let's do something different. Let's not have two Jokers.
But let's be careful with that. Because that's what a lot of people said in the CW, The Flash. Quit giving us speedster villains. Give us something new. And then we didn't get a speedster until like the last season. And people hated it.
Well, but
they also butchered...
Dark Frost.
Dude, they butchered a lot of those characters. They took Godspeed and turned him into a complete bitch.
Dude, those first 2 seasons I thought were pretty cool. And then I just started like slowly losing hope.
First 2 were solid. The third one with Savitar was like...
Yeah, that's the last one.
One of the most hated. And then you look back and you're like, well, okay, compared to the rest, it really wasn't that bad.
I think Savitar should have rolled up with a theme song from Savatage.
I think Savitar should have killed Iris at the beginning of that episode, beginning of that season, and then the whole show would have been better. So what's your excitement level for The Batman Part 2?
Well, I'm not allowed to give a 0 because I make the rules, so I'm going to give it a 1 because I don't give a shit. I'm going to be brutal here. I just really, really dislike The Batman, and I really have no desire to watch the sequel, like, whatsoever. Maybe if Emily's like, I want to watch that Batman movie, which is never going to happen. That's not going to happen. You're going to, okay, well, then I will drink the entire time I'm watching it, and I'll make fun of it the entire time. And I hope he gets shot like 500 times in the face or punched and like stabbed and nothing happens to him. And I hope he does do some detecting here. Dun, 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 dun. Like, let's get some Law and Order here. He's supposed to be the greatest detective. Like, I don't want to see him crybabying with a bunch of pictures around. I don't want to see him. And I guess what really bugged me about that, like, was this a Batman or a 7? What am I watching here? It was just so, yeah, that's what Batman is, dark and gritty, and we're finally getting there. But, like, is this The Crow? Why is it raining? Why is it, like, dark all the time? Like,
that was always a running joke. Every Batman movie is always really, really dark.
Yeah, except for, like...
except for The Dark Knight.
Yeah, where he's running... Was it a Lamborghini? He smashes into somebody to save him, like, during the middle of the day. It wasn't raining and it wasn't dark. I'm just saying.
Was The Dark Knight's with the Joker, right?
Dark Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that
the
one
Rises one.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of nighttime scenes, but a lot of that happened during the day, too.
Yeah, and he was detecting. Remember he did the whole thing with the bullet and shit?
Yeah, and the thumb drive. Oh, wait, that was the Batman. So I give my excitement level a 4 out of 10.
I thought you were going to go higher. I'm so glad it's low, dude. Dude, you're too far away to fist bump, but...
I even have it written down that this is a wait for streaming movie. I'm not going to go out of my way for it.
Absolutely not.
And while I like that they made the Batmobile an actual car that was just souped up really well, I also hated it because
Did the A-Team build it?
Well, I want that jet engine on the front like Keaton had, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is that over the top with the fins.
Yeah.
What was their fins on it? But whatever.
Well, it's because it could turn into a boat or submarine or an airplane or a
Batman's
motorcycle.
like James Bond. That was kind of cool about those movies back then. He did the bat plane with Jack Nicholson when he goes up with the moon. Dude, when I saw that as a kid, now I didn't see it in the theaters because I was too young and I didn't have money to go see it. So I had to wait till it was on Fox or ABC, whatever. It was the weekly movie. And even with commercials, I was my eyes could have just become one with the TV screen watching that Keaton movie. It was just phenomenal.
I stand firm that I still feel Keaton was the top Batman that we've ever had. I know a lot of people love Christian Bale, but I am firm that Keaton I
think Christian Bale was a good Batman. He wasn't a good Bruce Wayne, which he should be because he looks like a playboy and he has an attitude like a playboy. He just likes to scream at people with telephones. But Michael Keaton did know how to go back and forth. But then that damn Flash shit with the fucking spaghetti. God, whatever.
I'm telling you,
we got to move on.
It's the writers.
Yeah, it's the writers, all right. Well, speaking of stuff that has nothing to do with spaghetti, Superman and Lois season 4 just got greenlit to be announced, to be TBD, to be determined when it's going to drop. Apparently, I've never seen it. A lot of people love it.
That's the final season, though, isn't it?
Yes, it's going to end, so they are going to get a final season. Yes. I don't know much about the show. I did copy and paste a bunch of notes about it. I guess I would be spoiling a lot of stuff to myself and to others if I would go through it. But I guess in this show, Superman and Lois have a kid. Yeah, so it's getting a final season for all you fans out there. We're like, oh my God, is it going to get... Yes, it is. It's going to get a final season. That's going to be a thing that's going to happen on TV. I don't know when. And I might watch this someday. It is possible. But here's my thing. I'm just going to jump into what because I don't want to get a lot of details about this show. My excitement level is 3. I've seen Taylor Hutchison, whatever. I've seen him in some few things. And I never really bought him as Superman. And the lady that plays Lois Lane, she was in Grimm, played the girlfriend, and she was one of the parts that annoyed me of that show. And I love that show, but I was like, man, this is one of her episodes. Oh, she's an assassin now. What the hell? Did you watch Grimm?
Some, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what are you doing here, man? It went off the cliff.
I can agree with it. And Taylor Hutchison, Tyler 8.
He was in Teen Wolf, I think.
I always thought he looked the part.
He has a lisp, I think.
But he just didn't play the part.
It's not his fault.
What?
See, he has a lisp. It's not his fault.
He
talks with a lisp. I'm like, why is Superman talk with a lisp?
No, I always thought he looked the part. He just didn't really play the part. He just didn't feel like Superman to me.
I'm sorry if I offended anybody with a lisp. I apologize.
Just get off it. Elizabeth Tulloch or whatever her name is. I don't know her from anything.
I just don't think she's a very good actress. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that I don't think you're a good actress. You probably act better than me, but I've never had a shot either.
So we'll just move on past that then.
Which part? Is it the part? Are you trying to say something specific? Do I keep
re-recording? No, I'm Superman and Lois. Let's just get out of it.
Just leave it. For all the fans of that, just turned off the show. You guys are being so mean. Listen, I've heard great things about it. A lot of people that have seen it said, oh, this show is actually really good. I'm just not really interested at all. Are you interested? What was your excitement level? Did you say it and I ignored it?
Oh, probably. No, my excitement level is like a 2. I've never seen any of it. I've seen him play Superman and Supergirl, and I would watch Supergirl only during the crossovers with the Flash. And yeah, okay, sure.
Was this in the same universe that hers was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I knew it was connected to the Arrowverse somehow.
I don't know if Superman Lois is directly connected, like if they're playing it off of that. But yeah, the same actors were in the Arrowverse as Clark and Lois.
I did you ever watch The Adventures of Lois and Clark with Terry Hatcher?
Absolutely.
I feel like this show that we're talking about, I already got it when I was a kid, and I loved it. And it was a ridiculous show. It was absolutely ridiculous and stupid. I loved it. I mean, I did appreciate that, a lot of Supermen like to show up in other Superman type shows. You had Christopher Reeves being a professor, and then you had Dean Cain show up. It was kind of cool that they've shown up in these things.
Well, they did that in one of the big crossover events with the Arrowverse.
Ralph showed up as Superman.
Yes, Ralph showed up as the Kingdom Come Superman.
You can understand why everybody was falling over him. Why are all these chicks all we look. He's like, we look the same. They're like, no, you don't. Yeah. No, you don't. No, we legitimately do. So moving on. Because if you talk about Superman, who else you got to talk about? The Batman. Oh, we already did that. We're going to talk about some more Batman, some more Bat Kids. The Brave and the Bold. It's in development.
Yes, it is.
This is going to be about Damian Wayne, supposedly. This is supposed to be an introduction to DCU's Batman. This is a quote from James Gunn, apparently. This is an introduction of the DCU's Batman. It's not Robert Pattinson. It is not Ben Affleck. We're working, with Robert on Batman 2, and in dealing with that with Matt Reeves, I am working with Ben Affleck, who really wants to be, he has been part of our architectural team and trying to bring things together, and he really wants to direct some of our projects. We're excited about him doing that, but this is a story about Damian Wayne, who is Batman's actual son, and who we didn't know existed for the first 8 to 10 years of his life. He was raised as a little murderer and assassin. He's a little son of a bitch. He's my favorite Robin, and this is based on Grant Morrison's comic book run, which is one of my favorite Batman runs, and we're putting it all together right now. So there you go. This is about Damian Wayne. Now, they did do a cartoon animated of this. I don't know if you saw that one, and it was done really well, too. And Damian Wayne is a little son of a bitch. He is. He's a nasty little kid.
All right.
He's kind of like, you remember the Terminator just like killing people? And like John Connor's like, you can't be just killing people. That's Damian Wayne. He's just like killing people. Batman's like, hey, you gotta stop killing people. But that's not what we do. But why?
I mean, I think it's going to be interesting because, first off, it's going to be based off of Grant Morrison's Batman comics. And Grant Morrison...
I think at this point we can say Grant Morrison, as many times as we've mentioned him, is a legend in comics at this point.
Anytime he's involved in something, it usually becomes like considered a pinnacle of that story. Like,
spoilers, his name's going to come up again.
He's amazing. That being said, I also think it's going to be amazing to see that family dynamic between Bruce Wayne and his son Damian, because you always see it with Robin, and if Robin's in the picture at all,
well, Robin's supposed to be in this. They're supposed to be more. It's just supposed to show the extended Batman family. You're supposed to get a Batgirl. You're supposed to get a Batman, obviously Batman, Nightwing. Like these are all supposed to like show up in here at some point or another, which I think is going to lead to another property we're going to talk about.
Well, I mean, we've only ever seen Batman with Alfred and Robin. We've never really seen him with any other variation of somebody he even remotely considers to be family. So to see this, where it's actually flesh and blood, I think it's going to add an entirely new dynamic. I think you're going to see like a jealousy issue between Robin and Damian. It's probably going to be more on Robin's part because it's Robin. And obviously Damian's not going to care. We already established that he's evil.
Well, it says here that Safran revealed that the Bat family will finally get their due. And this is, and a quote says, and this is obviously a feature film, he added. It's going to be featuring the other members of the extended Bat family just because we feel that they've been left out of the Batman stories in the theaters for far too long. It sets up for the DC Batman, who will finally include the likes of Nightwing, Robin Hood, not Robin Hood, not at all, but that wrong. Nightwing, Red, now you're laughing at me. Nightwing, Red Hood, Red Robin, and all those who've been mostly regulated to the animated series and other on-screen appearances. So, like, basically what they're saying is all these people that have been like, they're off limits. We can't do this. James Gunn and Safran are like, no, these people aren't off limits anymore, because there'd be so many times. Why do you think? Well, you know why we got the Arrow TV show, because they weren't allowed to do Batman.
Yep.
There's so many things that, Batman and Superman are on Justice League. You can't ever touch them. Well, now let's screw that. We're ripping that Band-Aid off. These people, maybe that's why your stuff's not making money and people aren't invested and interested.
You're not taking the chance.
Yeah. So let's take those chances now.
So I gave this a 6 out of 10. I'm really excited to see who they're going to cast. Did you say who the director is on this one?
I don't know if there is a director on this one.
Because I found it Andy Muschietti, but I don't know if that was confirmed or not. And the date, like you said, TBD, to be determined. Hopefully in the next, I'd say probably, beginning of 2026, I feel would be reasonable. It
looks like Krypton's going to get their due first, and then we're going to get to Gotham. That seems how that.
This is one of the few I have written down as a possible go to the theaters for movie.
Once we get a casting, I think at this point in the
Adam Sandler
timeline, should
play Alfred.
That would be fucking awesome. Commissioner Gordon. There you go. No, I think at this point we're gonna already know. We're gonna see the Supergirl. We're gonna see the Superman. We're gonna see these other projects, and we're gonna already kind of know, like, is this working or is this not working?
Yeah.
And I think that's why they're slowly.
I'd say this is definitely further in. It's still considered what are they calling it? Chapter 1.
Gods and Monsters, yeah.
Yeah, it's still
I think this is towards the end of it.
Essentially phase 1, like the MCU did. Like, this is still part of that. It's still part of the initial setup. But I think they're going to gauge how the other ones go to see how much they're going to push into this one.
Absolutely. I think that is their plan. I know that Asher Angel from the Shazam movies has hinted on his social media about playing Nightwing. If that's going to be a thing or not, I don't know. I'd like to see Jake Gyllenhaal show up somewhere. I think he should be involved somewhere in one of these things.
As Mysterio.
Yes. And then he's going to be like, this is DC Universe 414. And yeah, it's... yeah. I don't know if I typed up my rating. I'll give it a 7. But only because this is getting to the point where now we don't know who's really involved in this.
So, like, just a little side note, like, I have the highest hopes that I'm going to get invested in this universe like I did Marvel. Marvel, like, I was Googling, okay, the next movie is about this person. I want to learn as much as I can about them if I didn't already know. Like Ant-Man. I didn't know that much about him before the movie came out.
I knew he's mean to his wife in the comics. That's all I knew for a minute. He was an
alcoholic, and, you know, and that, I think that's why they went more away from Hank Pym's story and focused more on, you know, but that's what I mean. Like, I'm hoping that James Gunn pulls me in and I get invested in this like I did in the MCU, because I'm sorry to say it, I feel like the MCU is really struggling right now.
It is. Well, I think that's their whole plan to...
The soft reboot? I think that's a horrible idea.
I was saying that they're slowing down their production.
I think that's a good idea.
How much they're putting out.
Yeah.
So next up, we have The Authority, which is also in development. We don't really know much at all about any cast, any directors. Director,
TBD. Date, TBD. Cast, TBD.
Yeah, like who
all
is this
we
TBD?
know
He's doing everything.
It's going to focus on a group of superpowered individuals who take extreme measures to basically achieve their version of justice.
This, to me, is when I was reading a snippet of it when I was younger, it was more like... it's not as extreme as The Boys, but it's kind of like Watchmen, kind of like The Boys, kind of Squadron Supreme type stuff. To me, they were a lot more like Squadron Supreme, and you know what, your government around the world's not working, so we're just going to take over for you.
Well, so I guess it's going to be based a lot on the Wildstorm comic series.
Yes, which it was before they merged with DC.
Okay,
when this was out.
Okay, it's going to be a lot more of that vigilante feel of, like you said, you're not doing it right. Let me just step in here and do it my way. Kind of almost Punisher-esque. And I'm kind of actually excited for it. I feel like this could, I don't want to say like Suicide Squad feeling in the sense of like, you don't know who's safe. You don't really know what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is going to be a rougher show.
These are all characters that 99% of people are going to have no idea who they are.
Right. And, you know, and although I was never a reader of the comics that much, like I knew who the Authority were, and, you know, I kind of look forward to them showing up on the screen, even though there's no director, no cast, no plot. I mean, if they just kind of go, I don't know if they're going to go based on the comics, just like an origin story, or if they're just going to bring them into the Authority, because it's weird because they were part of a universe that was not connected to DC at one point. And I don't know if one of the Infinite Crises or something to do with the Watchmen or somebody like merged them all together in the DC comics. But they were like on their own thing, so it's not like they were opposed to Superman and the JLA. Like they were like the JLA. I'm going to keep my level at a 7 here. I'm curious to see if it's going to be more like The Boys or if it's going to be a little bit less, because they do need to put asses in seats, and this isn't. But I don't know if are they going to make it a movie? Are they going to make it a TV show? Like, there's really not clear what they're going to do here.
Well, just for the record, if they made The Boys movie, I would be at that theater in a heartbeat.
Oh, absolutely. In the comics, the team like had no issues killing off an Avengers. There was a fake Avengers team, like a blatant ripoff of them. There was like a giant man, and like the Apollo character blew right through his head, just boost, kind of like they did in the reboot of the Squadron Supreme. They flew through Galactus's head.
Yeah,
you know. And Apollo and Midnighter, they're lovers, they're partners, and I'm curious in what are people going to do this day and age when they see that basically the Batman and the Superman characters, because that's kind of what they are lovers. They're schmoozing it up with each other. How are people going to react to that? You know, are we finally to the point where like, you know, it's cool, it's fine. you know, like I don't give a shit, but like there's some people, are they just gonna be like boycotting things? Or I'm curious, if can we handle it now as a culture? Can we do this? Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I wish I had a little bit more information. We do get the engineer showing up in the Superman movie, so it's gonna show that at least she's established somehow. But is the team established? We don't know. Maybe something happens in that movie where she has to establish a team. I never read their origin of how they came together. I just know that they're like a rough and tumble JLA, in a way, Avengers team.
Right. And I agree. I give it a 7 out of 10. I like I said, the whole vigilante idea, it makes me kind of excited to see how they're going to do it. Because anytime you have a vigilante style justice system, it's always different. You don't really know what you're getting into. And that being said, like you were just saying about, you know, basically Batman and Superman schmoozing it up. You agree with it, you don't agree with it, go see it or don't go see it. I don't see any reason to be boycotting it. I don't see any, you know, we don't need a picket line outside the movie theaters. If you don't agree with what's in the movie, don't go see it. If you do agree with it, go see it. It's not that difficult.
Oh, I completely agree, but some people like to go to extremes, man. 0 to 100 real quick.
I mean, like, without getting into things, I know you and I have talked, we have very, very polar opposite opinions on certain areas of life. But I consider,
here we are.
I consider you my best friend, one of my best friends, and yeah, we're here. Just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean it means to get in the way of your life. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm sick of getting on YouTube and immediately seeing like, oh, this social justice woke warrior versus Donald Trump's Bible thumping whatever. Like, no, I don't care.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You just merged like 10 headlines together, and that's the point.
Mini rant
all together, and they're all bullshit.
All right, mini rant over.
Okay.
Next up.
Hey, hold on. I just want to grab that soapbox. Put it back in my closet. There we go. Yeah. All right. We're good. We're gonna move on to some other sticky situations, and that's usually what you find in the swamp. We're gonna talk about Swamp Thing. Everything is TBD except for this is supposedly a passion project for James Mangold.
Who's that? That's
the guy that did, what's that one little movie that nobody liked? I think it was called Logan. Is that what that was?
Yeah.
A dog named Logan, named after Wolverine, of course. But yeah, James Mangold says that he wants to do this. He is already writing and talks to actually directing this as well. But that's all we don't know anything about a cast or anything like that.
I actually just got a whole bunch of old man Logans from a flea market.
Did you?
My boss found them for $2 a piece, so I said get them all. And there was like 8 of them.
Right on.
Yeah.
Anyway, blind Hawkeye in those.
Yes.
We're driving the Spider-Mobile.
Yes. They're one of the last ones, I think it is the first time you see the venomized spider T-Rex.
Yes.
Which I can't wait to read how that came to be, but. Anyways, back in the Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Did you watch the original movies way back in the day?
I did. I actually really enjoyed them.
My buddy fucking loves them, dude. Shout out Ryan. I know you love those damn Swamp Thing movies.
Like, were they cheap? I mean, what wasn't back then?
I don't know by 80 standards. I don't know. I feel like they put a little bit of budget into them.
Everything I found about this is telling me that it's going to focus on the darker side of things. It is an origin story. It's going to look at the scientist as he's transformed into this plant-based thing after an accident. That being said, this is supposed to open up a much darker corner of DC. And not like we've had where it's, you know, gritty and attitude.
Gritty's different than dark.
This is supposed to open more of a horror environment. And weirdly enough, I gave this a 9 out of 10. I am really excited for this.
Well, I mean, based on the comic, Swamp Thing is an elemental entity that is linked to all plants on Earth. And he is loosely connected to the Endless from the Sandman. And they have crossed paths before. He's been called like a Nexus entity in the DC universe. So he's like pretty powerful and important, the Swamp Thing. He is a vegetable matter mass that has acquired the memory of a personality of a guy called Alec Holland, a botanist who died in a swamp shortly after developing a hormonal biorestorative formula for plants. The bioformula was developed to alleviate any nation's food crisis concerns. And according a quote from Collider that they had in an interview with James Mangold said, "While I'm sure DC views Swamp Thing as a franchise, I would be viewing it as a very simple, clean, gothic horror movie about this man/monster. Just doing my own thing with this, just a standalone. I've been toying for years with the idea of making a Frankenstein-esque movie." So, I mean, yeah, they've done Swamp Thing back in the 80s, and I'm pretty sure they tried. Marvel did the Man Thing movie, and shortly after they did a Swamp Thing show. It came out at the same time as I do believe Titans on the HBO before it became Max.
Yeah.
I don't think it lasted very long, and I didn't get a chance to see it. I heard it wasn't very good.
I thought it only lasted a couple episodes. Like, I don't even think they got a full season in.
Yeah, maybe not. I heard it was really bad. So, my excitement level is a 7 on this, only because Mangold doing it. If it wouldn't have been Mangold, I'd be like, yeah, this is gonna be another Man Thing, which was a weird Marvel thing that was okay for what it was. I mean, I think if they get rid of the campiness that was those old movies, and I know that's what some people love them, they're cult movies, and I love me some old horror. I'm finally on 1993. I'm finally there. I'm moving and grooving here, and it's a weird year so far. I love horror, and I think there needs to be a darkness somewhere. I think this might be a way to somehow allude to some Sandman stuff here. I hope that they connect it. They probably won't, but I'm excited for this.
No, I am too. Like I said, 9 out of 10. My concern though is people always complain that the DC EU was too dark and broody all the time. Going this route of dark horror-esque, is it gonna turn people off? Because look at what Marvel did with New Mutants. They tried a horror genre. Now, don't get me wrong, New Mutants had many more issues than the genre, and that's simply because they kept changing the direction of it. They kept changing the director. But are they going to turn people off to it? Is it going to throw up some PTSD of, oh wait, I don't want dark and broody again? Well,
if they take some of the cleverness, I mean, this had Alan Moore attached. He wrote some of the comics way back then. It was conceived by writer Len Wein, who, I don't know if you know, he was connected to creating Wolverine way back in the day. So, I mean, he had some connections there. If they go back to the original late 70s, early 80s Swamp Thing stuff, if they use that material, it's going to be, I think they're going to do it well. I do.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, this is one I would love to go to theaters to see.
Absolutely.
I think this would be one of those fun ones. But hear me out, James Gunn. Please.
No, I'm putting my fingers in my ears right now.
Well, you're not James Gunn.
Oh, shit.
Please don't make it so dark visually that you can't even see the Swamp Thing.
Yeah, let's get some light in there.
Yeah, don't go for that, like, everything's at nighttime, or you never really... I mean, I understand in the 80s, like we talked about before, Alien and stuff, the reason it was so creepy was you never really saw the enemy until the end. But with this...
It depends on how CGI heavy this is going to be.
Well, see, the main character is Swamp Thing. It's not the Xenomorph. I want to see it. I want to admire it. Give me something to look at. Go for those practical effects.
That's what Beetlejuice is doing. So I saw like a screenshot.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah, a lot of practical effects being used in it. Yeah. Well, speaking of dark and gritty, we talked about it being connected to, or not connected, but being on the HBO. There was also a show called Teen Titans back in the day, not that long ago. Well, and in development, there's another Teen Titans show. No information really whatsoever, other than Anna Nogueira, who is writing the Supergirl movie, is also writing this. That's the only information I have about this. I'm going to keep my excitement level at 6 because, I enjoy the TV show, The Titans, even though I didn't get to finish it all the way yet. I do have them. I just haven't got around to it. I assume we're going to run into everybody from all the previous shows that's going to come out before this. Like, everybody's going to pop up in here somewhere. Like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, like, are we going to get Damian Wayne in this?
Right.
What's this going to be? I mean, if we're going off into space, are we going to get the Starfire? Like, I don't know. Like,
is Supergirl going to be back and be in this? Like,
yeah, that's why I'm at a 6 on this, only because like we don't know anything, and because the Teen Titans show, I think it was just called Titans. I'm not talking about the cartoon, but the Titans show was good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed everything I've seen. I'm kind of like mad at myself right now that I haven't finished it. Well, I think part of my problem is I did get into season 2, and then I don't know, it was like the second or third episode in. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I just kind of drifted off. But I am kind of mad at myself I didn't finish it. But my point is, that's so fresh in my mind. But this could be like 2027. We don't know. Like way down the line.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give it a 6, 5.56. That's my excitement level. What do you got?
I gave it a 5 because honestly, I mean, you had the Teen Titans cartoon, then you have the Titans show, and then there's another, what was it? It was another like Titans style. I forget what it was, though, but it focused more on like the Supergirl aspect. There was Supergirl. There was what's her name? Female Green Lantern, Batgirl, stuff like that.
Oh, was there?
Jessica Cruz. That's what it was. It was a cartoon. My kids watched it for a while. I forget what it was called now.
Oh, okay. Was it in the same style as Batman the Animated Adventures?
Kind of.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like they've done it so many times. How are you gonna make it fresh?
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Beast Boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for the best, but
yeah,
you're gonna have to sell me on it through previews because as of right now, I'm just kind of mediocre.
And moving on to something that's not quite mediocre because we've seen some of this before. Now, I decided to put these two together because they're kind of a package deal in a way. Waller / Peacemaker season 2-esque. Because this is season 2. Is it not season 2? If you haven't watched Peacemaker, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's John Cena. He's a superhero with a foul mouth. He loves hair metal, which woo,
that's what I said in the beginning.
Horns.
John Cena being John Cena.
John Cena, yeah, it's
perfect casting.
The intro to that show, the whole dancing is just great. So we're going to supposedly get a season 2 of Peacemaker that is not connected to the previous DC universe, but connected to this one. And it's somehow going to explain how this is canon, but that wasn't canon. And are they going to forget everything from the first season? Like, I don't know. It's very up in the air how they're going to do this. And Waller is, of course, going to be connected to that, where she runs more Suicide Squad missions with other people.
So you think it's just going to be essentially another Suicide Squad movie? Just more from her point of view?
No, I think Waller is going to be a TV show, and Peacemaker's going to be. They're separate. I just kind of put them together because we don't know exactly when they're coming out.
I see what you mean.
They're two separate TV shows.
So it's going to be Suicide Squad, the TV show, essentially, with Waller.
Probably. Yeah.
And Peacemaker season 2. So
yeah,
Peacemaker...
I'm sure Sean Gunn's going to be in it, I assume.
I thought he was in everything.
Yeah.
I thought he was Supergirl.
Oh, he's not? Looks like a weasel.
Weasel Supergirl.
Weasel girl?
Maybe he'll be Superdog.
Crypto.
No, so...
Hey, you got any crypto I can borrow?
Peacemaker season 1 was, I thought, just fantastic. It was
great.
A totally off-the-wall new look at how a superhero show could be without being over-the-top gory like The Boys and without being too serious with itself like almost all of the DC universe.
It was right in the middle.
It was perfect. It really was. I mean, I didn't understand the whole butterflies thing at first, but all in all, it was still an amazing show. And that opening sequence, just every single time you see it, like that's one of the few that I did not hit skip.
Do you really, really want me?
I watched that every time, and every time you watch it, you notice something different from somebody else.
Yeah, well, there's so many dance moves going on.
Like the one, I can't remember her name, the one girl, when they're doing the one move, she's flipping off the camera instead. Like,
yeah, I think the girl you were talking about before was from Orange is the New Black.
No,
not her.
Her girlfriend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
short-haired one. Yeah,
I kind of spaced about her.
There's a part where they're like this, but she's like flipping you off.
Gotcha. I listen.
And then Eagly. How do you not love Eagly?
Eagly is man. Would you rather have Captain America's vibranium / adamantium shield of a mixture of metals, or would you have Eagly?
Eagly.
Yeah, but would you clean up Eagly's shit though? Eagly.
No, he would do it himself.
Oh, he's a smart bird.
I mean,
season 1 fucking rocked, dude. Like it really did.
Well, and it was that pure stoic, stone-faced John Cena. Like the things that were coming out of his mouth.
It's like he believes it.
Yeah, like most actors would have busted up laughing. Like, have you seen Ricky Stenicki?
Yes.
Again, like John Cena just nailing the part.
I feel like that was just a cousin of Peacemaker. Like Ricky Stenicki is a cousin of Peacemaker. Like they somehow are related for sure.
If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Fantastic movie.
Vigilante for me. The character of Vigilante, dude, he's just, when he's in the jail doing his thing at the table and he just sits down, just starts talking that racist shit to the guy just to piss him off. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, see, what sold me was because I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. I'm just like, okay, it's just, I didn't really care for his character in Suicide Squad. Yeah, he had a few really good one-liners. Like, I don't care how many women, men, women, and children I have to kill to get peace. But I'm like, all right, maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. We'll see. And then somebody showed me the clip of him just ripping Batman apart to the old guy, saying like, "Well, Batman's a
bitch."
Yeah. Say like, well, that's why he doesn't kill his people. That's why he has a cohort of supervillains because he's too much of a
pussy. We're too far gone now.
And when I watch that, I'm just like, all right, maybe I'll give this show a shot. And then like the first episode, I'm pretty sure the first episode ends with him getting attacked by the woman he just had sex with.
Oh, the trailer park trash lady in the apartment.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what am I watching?
And that's why my excitement level's at an 8, because you've already seen season 1. And whether it's going to be connected to what universe, it doesn't matter to me. James Gunn isn't just going to throw all that magic away. Like, he's not going to. He's going to keep sprinkling it around.
I mean, Waller, 6. Peacemaker, a solid 8-9.
Yeah, like the Waller thing, it's going to be more, I think, a political thing of her dancing around the political arena. But on that token, though, like, you're going to see a lot more other characters.
Yeah.
Just going on missions. I mean, if you look at the James Gunn Suicide movie, like, he brought in all these characters, dead.
Spoiler.
Dead. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Like, watching it, you see all these characters from the first Suicide Squad movie, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, what are we getting into? And they just start getting murdered. I'm like, okay.
Well, he brought in
even Nathan Fillion was there.
Yeah, the ADK or yeah. So I mean, we're going to see a shit ton of new people, which is going to be pretty great. And so I'm jonesed for it. I really am.
Do you think they're going to bring Margot Robbie back as Harley Quinn?
I don't wonder if she's moved on to bigger things now. Not to say the comic book movies aren't big, but
I just asked because she was the only one that he let survive, you know, the first.
I think it would be amazing. I think she is going to probably see how well the stuff's doing. I think if this is a dumpster fire by the time we get to Peacemaker, that she won't. But I think it'd be a smart move.
They could easily have her cameo in any of these.
It should be like one episode. If Marvel can get Charlize Theron to show up randomly and some of these other people like in the TV shows, like, why not?
True. Yeah.
I think they
got, you know, Owen Wilson for Loki. I mean, come on.
Well, I remember just watching an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it had to deal with, like, it was a Thor-esque episode and Sif showed up. I was like, they got Jamie.
Well, that's because the first, I think, 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were meant to run 100% parallel to the movies. So the events of the movies immediately affected the show.
I'm just saying the fact that they got like a higher
studio style,
like a bigger star to just come down. Like a big screen star to come down. Is she a big screen star now? Not so much. But I think she's a good actress. I hope she like gets her.
She showed up in Loki too. Season 1 of Loki when he was in that little time prison.
So they definitely could do some things. That's right. Yeah.
But I feel like it's probably like part of their contract. Like when you get a job and the bottom it says all other duties as assigned. That's what they sign when they're an actor. Like,
I'm not mopping this floor. Well,
all other movies as assigned.
So on to some more ridiculous things. Booster Gold, the TV show, is in development. No information whatsoever about this. My only interaction with the character is with Eric Martsolf, who played him on Smallville. I was a fan of the actor from some daytime TV stuff. Didn't really care much for his portrayal of Booster Gold, but I didn't really read Booster Gold either. He's got connections to Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, all that stuff, and I don't know if the Blue Beetle stuff's going to be. It's very weird. Like, that hasn't really been talked about at all, if that's going to be part of this or not.
I feel like,
I didn't watch the movie yet.
Well, I feel like as poor as it did, they might just ignore it.
Yeah, it'd probably be the smarter bet, even though I like the people that are in it. I just didn't watch the movie.
Now, Shazam and all that's all gone, right?
Yeah, Shazam should be gone. No, I'm saying, like...
Okay. Not that you didn't like it. You're saying that, like...
No, I didn't hate the movies. Now, there was a lot of issues I had with them, but, you know, I didn't hate them.
That's what I mean. Like, movies, like, they did 2 movies, great. But that franchise, so to speak, that's technically over now with James Gunn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shazam is gone and Wonder Woman's gone. Like, it's out. It's gone. Aquaman's gone. And, you know, all this here, just going to point out that it just came out. Lobo isn't mentioned anywhere.
No, it's
at
not.
all. So
Lobo supposedly is DC's attempt at a Deadpool style, like,
yeah, well,
off the wall. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a cosmic thing. We'll see if James Gunn, can bring a foul-mouthed dude who likes to kick Superman in the nuts. show up.
I feel like a huge part of why Deadpool even worked was Ryan Reynolds. So
Yeah, you have to have
got to have the right cast.
Gotta have charisma. I've seen Momoa on SNL, and he was okay. But could he pull off like a whole Deadpool type movie? I don't know if he could. I have no idea. Do you know anything about Booster Gold, like, at all?
Very, very little.
What do you know?
His name.
So basically, he's this guy from the future, goes back in time, uses his technology, pretends to be a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. He pulls a Gilderoy Lockhart.
He's almost
really.
like
He
what they
fakes
did
it
with
till he makes it.
Mysterio.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's almost like what they did with Mysterio. He's a pretender, so to speak.
Yeah. He eventually becomes like a true hero. It just takes him a long time. And yeah. I
wasn't Nathan Fillion lined up for that part at one point?
He was.
I thought so.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion, it's just, if this would have been done 15 years ago, maybe. I don't know. He's getting older. His neck's getting rounder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell he's doing everything he can to stay fit. Like, we love watching The Rookie with him, and I still love the guy. He's an amazing actor, but you can just tell he's getting older.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his age is, but if
106.
If I'm in my 40s, he's got to be late 50s, mid 50s, right? We're going to do some research here.
Nathan Fillion was 53 years
53,
old.
mid 50s.
Standing at 6'2".
6'2". He's 6'2"?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, he taller than us, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fucking midgets. You can't say that word. Sorry, no,
What,
midgets.
midget?
You can't say midget. I don't know. Can you? I don't fucking know.
I mean, midget tossing is a sport in some countries.
So Nathan Fillion, like he said, he's doing great. He's trying his best. Well, there's some other stuff he's got to deal with as well, and that's our last thing to talk about here, and that is the Lanterns TV show, which is in development. Nathan Fillion is set to play Guy Gardner. He's already going to be in the Superman movie. He might show up in here. He might not. We don't know. It's supposed to be about Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I assume we're going to get a crap ton of other Lanterns from all over the place.
Well,
some Kilowoggs, some Sinestros.
Now, do you think Nathan Fillion is going to be a regular, or do you think he's going to be like the main focal point at first, and then he dies off and we get Hal Jordan or somebody?
I think he's going to be around until somehow they fit in the part where Batman punches him in the nose from the comics and shuts him up. And then Nathan Fillion will disappear after that. I don't know. He's a decent star. He's a good TV star as well as being in some movies. He's more of a TV guy, so I think he'll work here. But I don't think he's going to be a focal point. I think he'll pop up here and there. The thing with the Lanterns is it's kind of like a police force, so it's like there's a department of people that you don't...
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like really watch a lot of Law and Order in this episode here, but a lot of Law and Order where this episode's on these two detectives doing this. This one's on this detective doing that one. Like, Stabler's in the same force as all the other guys, but he's not. Stabler's not in every single episode. Like, Ice-T's not in every single episode. And that might be the way it is here. Nathan Fillion's in episode 3 and 7 or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm excited for it because, again, James Gunn, Cosmic, keep hammering this over and over and over again. We've been wanting some Green Lanterns for a long time. I didn't hate the movie. However, we need it redone.
You mean the Ryan Reynolds movie?
Yes.
Okay. No, I said that before too in our Fancastamania episode, which if you want to go back and listen to it, go for it, but it is not our best work. I did not mind that movie. The CGI and stuff, yeah, I mean, it's rough, but for the time, it's kind of all we really had.
Yeah.
Like,
it was top tier at that point.
Yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds did a great job. I really do.
When he's driving around trying to duck or use regular tape, the 3M tape to put the package together, and he's swerving through traffic.
Yep.
And yeah,
now
I think he wasn't a good Hal Jordan. He should have been a different one, but
now I know
Rainier maybe.
Ryan Reynolds has even said that he hated that it was a horrible movie and whatnot. I mean,
it's obligatory to say
Deadpool 2. He went back in time and shot himself in the head for it. That being said, I really, really want to see a Ryan Reynolds cameo. Even if he just walks by in the background, give me that.
Yeah, we talked about this in your fan cast. I have him just walk and point and go, and then just keep walking.
Give me the briefest of cameos. Just make my day.
Do you think Jenna Ortega should show up in this as a Green Lantern somewhere?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That'd be amazing. Maybe they bring Sasha Calle. Maybe she can't be Supergirl anymore, but maybe she can show up as a Lantern somewhere. I mean, I think she normally has like longer hair than what she did as Supergirl. So
Yeah, but she doesn't have that Latina look that Jessica Cruz needs.
I didn't say she had to be Jessica Cruz. Anyway, we talk about Lanterns here. I'm excited for it. I give it an 8. What do you give it?
I give it a solid 8.
Solid 8?
Yeah, I'm excited. Green Lantern was always one of my favorites. Like I said before, I've read his. I've read a bunch of the comic books.
He's good friends with Flash.
Just he shows up in the Flash all the time and vice versa. But just the idea of using your own willpower to and your imagination to create whatever you need to get out of a situation was just
based on your willpower, man.
Like, it was just amazing to me. I always thought that was fantastic.
I don't know if you read through your research, but a lot of articles kept bringing up the fact that there's a certain character that is completely ignored so far in all these stories. The Flash. The Flash is not talked about anywhere.
I know. Yeah.
Wonder Woman is. Apparently, there's some sort of Themyscira show, Paradise Lost or something. Yep. It's going to be all women. It's going to be interesting.
I think it's going to take place before Wonder Woman.
Yeah, before Wonder
Woman.
Yeah, it's like some Game of Thrones things.
Yeah.
We didn't do the research on that one, but I think that's happening. But yeah, they haven't talked about the Flash at all.
Yeah,
I think somebody wrote for good reason.
Well, we know Ezra Miller
for now
was removed. I wonder if it's just a matter of...
He's Arnie Hammer status at these
I wonder if it's just a simple matter of, hey, kind of like the old Green Lantern. This movie just put a bad taste in people's mouths. Let's just ignore it for a while. Let's get away from this character, which sucks because the Flash is a huge part of the DC universe.
Well, maybe... I'm thinking that by the time we get to Lantern, so this is probably going to be 3 years from now. If it gets made.
This whole roadmap is looking easily 5 years.
Yeah. I think that it would be smart because of his connections to the Flash and comics that towards the end here, and dude, we already got Titans. We're already probably getting some sort of a teeny Flash somewhere or something. Like, I'm sure it's going to be alluded to somewhere, but I think Flash is probably going to be in their chapter 2. I do.
With Grant Gustin.
I mean, Gunn has not said no, and he hasn't said yes. He's pretty much said, I'm thinking maybe, possibly, but I don't know.
And Grant Gustin has been in multiple interviews and stuff saying that he would absolutely consider it.
Yeah. Just waiting for the phone to ring.
Yep. I do have one more, actually, on my list that I couldn't find any information on, but
what is it?
Supposedly there's going to be an Arkham Asylum TV show.
I did not know this. There's a video game?
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of the video games. All great. But yeah, from what I was reading, again, I couldn't find it anywhere, but supposedly...
And how are you going to do a show about, like, just a bunch of crazy inmates inside the asylum all the time? Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm not interested.
Break out every other day. They have prison riots every other day. Like,
yeah, okay, well.
I mean, maybe it's going to focus more on the people in the prison or something. I mean,
is this just a rumor, or was this announced somewhere?
Orange is the New Black style, but Arkham Asylum, I don't know.
Okay.
See, I couldn't...
I didn't think that direction.
I couldn't find a lot of information on it, though. That's the problem.
I did not think of that.
Okay, it says here, upcoming Arkham Asylum TV show is set to be a unique and exciting addition to the DC franchise with a focus on the institution that houses Batman's enemies. The show will be part of the main DC universe, not a spin-off of The Batman, so you're safe. Although details about the release date, the cast, director, etc. are unknown, the show's showrunner has been confirmed. The series is expected to have a horror movie-like feel that establishes Arkham Asylum as a character in itself.
Who's the showrunner?
It doesn't say.
It's been confirmed, but we don't know.
It doesn't say.
It's Simon Kinberg. Adam Sandler is going to play the warden of it, the director.
It does say it's, so I guess, an HBO series.
Max.
Probably.
It's probably super old if you're reading it as HBO. I might have missed it in all the listings I saw everywhere, because there's a million sites you can go to where it tells you the whole entire roadmap of this deal.
And it does say here, James Gunn has confirmed the spinoff series would in fact be one of the main DC Universe releases. Here, the Batman writer and director Matt Reeves is heavily involved in the project, but he's also busy with the Penguin spinoff series as well as Batman Part 2. So he won't be the showrunner, but it doesn't tell us who is.
Simon Kinberg.
I don't know.
I don't know either. All I do know is that the Lanterns is the last property that I had, and Arkham is the last property you had. And so that's what we got, man. That is the future of the DC movie universe.
I think it'll be interesting.
A lot of these things we don't really know a hell of a lot, but it seems like we're both kind of excited for what's going on. Hopefully all you folks out there are too, or maybe you're not. And, that's okay, because these people, just like Fox and Sony, have left horrible tastes in our mouths, and it's hard to wash all that out and spit it and do whatever you need to do. And, if there's one thing I've learned, it's...
Don't swallow.
Yeah, there you go. You got some important messages to send our viewers' way, our listeners' way? Both of them, both visual and audio.
Well, first of all, thank you for listening to another episode of the Tree of Geek. We really appreciate you taking the time, showing up, and just enjoying our time that we put into this, what some people call a podcast, other people call a waste of time. But, I mean, hey.
Hopefully this wasn't too long. Some people think they're too long. Let us know. Was this too long or too short?
If you want to connect with us off air as well, you can just jump on over to our Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. Shoot us a message, comment on anything that we've said today. If you're on YouTube, comment down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
You got to smash that subscribe button, I heard.
Please do. It absolutely helps our metrics. And the more we get as far as likes, subscribes, etc., the more likely YouTube is to push our new episodes to get more viewers and to help us grow.
Oh, well, that algorithm.
Oh, that algorithm. Let me tell you.
Don't smash your computer too much, because, I'm not replacing it for you.
I ain't replacing Jack.
What about Jill? So if you're feeling like you want to support us, we do have a Patreon. And Josh, how do we get to the Patreon? If I wanted to support this podcast, where would I go for the Patreon?
Just go right over to patreon.com/treeofgeek. For $5 a month, you can sign up for our Patreon, where you're going to receive some behind the scenes photos, as well as the ability to vote on upcoming episodes, polls, and voice your opinion. Get a hold of us. Let us know what you thought.
Ideas for the future?
You will also get sneak peeks of upcoming episodes. Currently, if you're on our social medias, I think it's maybe a day or two before we'll post something about the upcoming episode, the topic, etc. On Patreon, I give it to you a week early. You're going to know what's happening. We started posting some sound bites, things like that.
Some outtakes?
There's plenty of outtakes.
I mean, you can't have them all. Some are a little bit too juicy, a little too spicy.
And we are in the works of looking at getting some video going at some point. That will absolutely be a Patreon only thing to start, just because, we don't want to give ourselves away for free. We were raised better than that.
Episode 18
of season 47. But with all that being said, thank you for tuning into the Tree of Geek. Thank you for listening to our take on the upcoming DCU and how, I don't want to say excited we are, but not disappointed.
I'm pretty excited about some of them saying, man.
We'll see when it comes out, okay? We'll see.
Yeah.
You can guarantee we'll have follow-up episodes. But until next time, this is Josh saying take care, everybody.
This is the 8 train going back into the station and going night-night. Thank you very much for listening to us and taking your time out of your precious day. We appreciate it, and we will see you again, hear you again, voice to you again next time on the Tree of Geek.
Voice to you again?
I had to fix what I said. This fucking show, just trash it. We're starting over. Fuck it. We're done.